Hello and welcome to News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Coming up in the next few minutes. Price of sachet water to remain unchanged following meeting between Trade Minister and sachet water producers. Also on the program this morning, Director General of National Road Safety Authority calls for ban on importation of Toyota Voxy vehicles, warning of safety concerns. And much later on the program, IGP's special task force that attacked artist Ibrahim Mahama in Tamale has been disbanded as a new team is formed. All of these in the next few minutes. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the National Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers has agreed to maintain current prices following a crucial meeting with the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. This comes after early announcement of a possible price increase that raised concerns among consumers. My colleague Grace Hamuajiman has the details.
So it's been a long day here at the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, with the meeting going into 4 hours and beyond. The area of conversation was an announcement by the sachet water packagers and producers that they intend to increase the price of a bag of sachet water as a result of shortage of their polymers. The association makes a case that a ton of polymer, which sold at $920, is now selling at $1,200 because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which also happened due to the America-Israel-Iran war. But after conversations and discussions with the minister, the group is announcing that the old price of a bag of sachet remains the same. Proposed increment was expected to take effect, potentially pushing the cost of a bag of sachet up. But after conversations and discussion with the minister, the group says the old price of sachet water remains. President of the association, Ebobotre, says that the association will absorb any cost that is coming out of the decision, but will ask government for some interventions to stay afloat.
After listening to her, and considering the fact that sachet water is a basic necessity for over 33 million Ghanaians, yes, we are losing money if we go back to the old price, but then for the fact that we love Ghana and Ghana must thrive, we've decided to absorb the shock and keep the old prices for at least a month or two. And we expect that it will trickle down to the sachet water producers as well.
The Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, assured the group of government supports and interventions even as they find a way around the situation.
Because the economy has been stable for a while, we think that they have been cushioned. So it is good time for the industry to also cushion Ghanaians. They have agreed to do that so that we continue to enjoy the stability that we have in the system. Because in any economy, there are gains and there can be losses. Don't worry, this is temporary. I think that this economy is resilient enough to bounce back quickly so that you make the returns on your investment. So on that note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, sachet water sellers, retailers, wholesalers, the prices remain the same.
The two parties, that is the ministry and the sachet water producers, agree that challenges facing the sector remain unsolved and further consultations will be key in determining decisions that will happen in that sector. From the Trade and Agribusiness Industry Ministry here at Accra, Grace Hamuajiman for TV3 News.
Now, the Technical Committee of the National Road Safety Authority investigating converted Toyota Voxy vehicles has concluded that they are not fit for long-distance travel on Ghana's roads. The report also cites systemic failures as a major factor behind the surge in fatal accidents nationwide.
Public uproar over the number of crashes involving Voxy vehicles, the National Road Safety Authority set up a committee to look into the issue. On Wednesday, April 8, the committee presented its final report, in which it described the situation as a major threat to passenger safety. Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Ibrahim Amaliba, called for an immediate halt to their importation.
The Voxy vehicles are not meant for long distance driving. It is for intra-city driving, not inter-city driving. But what do we see? We see the Voxy crisscrossing the length and breadth of this country. We are also being told that the ties are not for the purposes that the vehicle is being used in Ghana. It's unlawful. So when we are able to get the customs to stop the importation, then it cures that one. And then also those who are already in Ghana will need to ensure that they don't also move beyond the intercity.
He noted that several vehicles have been unlawfully converted from right-hand drive to left-hand drive, resulting in many road crashes.
I think that those who are engaged in the conversion are engaged in an illegality. Those people are brothels for vehicles. So we would target them and close them down and prosecute all those who are involved in that. Because their activities are killing us on the roads, and we will not allow that to happen.
Chairman of the Toyota Voxy Technical Working Group, Godwin Kafui Ayeto, said the vehicles were not meant for commercial use and that system failure worsened the problem.
Right from the point of entry, there were systemic failures. They shouldn't have been registered, they were registered. Privately registered vehicles should not have been plying the route for commercial purposes. They are applying the route for commercial purposes. There are no standards to regulate them. Nobody has raised alarm on issues. They are prevalently involved in accidents, especially in the Bono region. People who should not drive these vehicles are driving these vehicles. So the systemic failure is just widespread.
ACP Alexander Obing of the Police Motor Traffic and Transport Department says the findings must be strictly adhered to, given the rising number of accidents across the country.
It's becoming one too many of Voxy vehicles getting involved in preventable road crashes on our roads. We enforce it to the letter in all our 25 police regional jurisdictional routes to ensure that we restrict its use so that Ghanaians will use it in traffic in intracity areas.
The NRSA says enforcement of the committee's recommendations will take effect soon.
Now, the Supreme Court of Ghana, which is the highest court of the country, is marking 150 years of existence. At a press briefing in Accra, the court highlighted its evolution since 1876, its role in upholding constitutionalism, protecting human rights, and resolving key national issues despite periods of political and legal challenges. A Justice of the Supreme Court and Chairman of the Planning Committee, Justice Richard Ejefrimpong, spoke to the press earlier.
The evolution of the court has been checkered, challenging, yet enduring. The court has not been spared the misfortunes of political hostility, military interventions, featuring suspensions and abrogations of constitutions, societal criticisms, even condemnation. Article 1815 of the Constitution has been interpreted by the court to ensure that international business agreements involving the state shall not come into operation unless it is approved by a resolution of Parliament. By this decision, the representatives of the people have a final say in how the executive transacts international businesses. Further, today, prisoners are permitted to vote, thereby expanding the frontiers of universal adult suffrage. Again, today, one does not need a police permit in order to embark on a demonstration. Finally, and perhaps most significantly, 2 presidential election disputes have been resolved by the court to ensure political stability. The theme for the celebration is honoring the past, celebrating the present, and defining the future. This theme is fitting and apposite. We believe it is deserving to celebrate the historical significance of the court, honor the achievement of our forebears, and highlight the court's contribution to the social, political, and democratic development of the country. This is not going to be just a celebration. It shall be a moment of stock-taking, lesson learning, and strategizing into the future. The actual celebrations will be a month-long event and shall be held from the 1st to the 31st of July. The events lined up for the celebrations would include lectures and symposia by various dignitaries, locally and internationally, legal outreach programs, moot court competitions, sporting events, shortcutting of anniversary projects, thereby to climax the celebrations, dinner and Thanksgiving.
Now, former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has been released from detention by the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement following a judicial order issued on the 7th of April 2026. A press release from his legal representatives, Minka Premo, Osebonsu, Bruce Kathleen Partners, confirmed that Ken Ofori-Atta has since returned home and is currently with his family. The statement also said that Mr. Ofori-Atta remains committed to pursuing due process in defending his right as guaranteed under the Constitution and laws of the United States. The family expressed gratitude to God and to all individuals who offered prayers and support during the period of his detention. Some more here, and the commander of the IGP Special Operations Team, DSP Bawa Abdul Jalil, has handed over leadership to Superintendent Augustine Dawson Amwa. DSP Abdul Jalil and 9 others have ceased to be members of the IGP's Special Operations Team following the alleged role in an attack on an artiste, Ibrahim Mahama, in Tamale.
The Special Operations Team was established by the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, to undertake complex and sensitive security operations across the country. Allegations of misconduct, including the reported assault of Red Clay CEO Ibrahim Mahama by some members of the team on each day, sparked public concern. The Police Professional Standards Bureau was tasked to investigate the incident. Before the conclusion of the investigations, leader of the team, DSP Bawa Abdul Jalil, along with 9 members of the team, stepped down. He formally handed over command to Superintendent Augustine Dawson Amwa at a ceremony held at the National Police Training School in Accra on April 7, 2026. In his remarks, DSP Abdul Jalil urged personnel to support the new leadership to ensure continuity and operational efficiency.
Today, we are going to move on with the IGP Special Operations Team because it is still in existence. But there's going to be change in the leadership of the IGP Special Operations. The leadership that is coming is still going to be the leadership that is going to work for the Inspector General of Police, because Mr. Kisente, you will still be the IGP and still be in charge of the Special Operations Secretariat under his office. I believe the total support that I had with you and whoever is going to come to take over from me is going to be something that everybody will join hands. Let us all come on deck to make sure that we still continue to keep this country safe, irrespective of whatever reservation we were having.
Superintendent Augustine Dawson Amwa, on his part, emphasized unity, discipline and professionalism as the guiding principles for the team going forward.
That anxiety, just calm down. This is our work. Allow us to do our work. Yes, sir. Let's be united. Yes, sir. One thing I hate in my life is group. No, it's English. Group. That you have your different mentality. No, you need to sing a common song, a common music. Yes. That is teamwork. Fear is not. We are going to talk what? Success.
The leadership transition comes at a critical time for the Special Operations Team as it seeks to rebuild public trust while sustaining its mandate of tackling organized crime and national security threats. The outcome of the ongoing investigations is expected to shape the future direction and credibility of the unit. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
And that's all for News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Seru. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on New Day.
Hey, gee. My head really aches. Feeling cold and feverish.
Sorry. I know the solution to your problem. It is Procode.
Procode? I bought some 3 days ago, but I'm not seeing any improvement. You can even have a look.
This is fake. Let's go to the drugstore. Please, we want Procode. No, not
Keep the song. Miss V, can you start middle somewhere? Brenda Shandov Dugan, middle somewhere. I don't know why Miss V stopped. Links Entertainment, Miss V just. It's a delight.
Yes, it was great.
I love the confectionery, the breakfast,
Yes.
How
many rounds did you go for?
No, only one. Yeah, I told you my daughter has warned me. So we have to be careful so that we don't create problems.
Problems at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody else watching us this morning, we say we're grateful. Let me say good morning to a great friend of mine. He's also the managing director of the Tema Oil Refinery.
Yeah, look at that.
Edmond Combat. I'll come and see you so that I can have a nice stay at Sheraton. I know that over the Easter period, you were in Bunkrugu interacting with the constituents over the Tema Oil Refinery MD, Edmond Combat. Good morning to you. Your deputy is Alhaji Mustafa. Good morning to you as well. 4 points by Sheraton. Just take a look.
Yep.
Yeah, they even have Bubra stands.
Yeah.
Go back to the Bubra stand. Go back. Oh, this one.
Is it not too early for Bubra this morning?
No, I'm not saying they should go and drink Bubra. I haven't said that. If you were thinking that, I've retracted. Please. You see, they have a cozy outside area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elevate. Charlie, the place is massive.
It's
And
nice.
yesterday I just enjoyed, and I know that, when you go to a place and the ambience, which is a French word. And yesterday, I caught you on a word asking you the French. How would you pronounce ambience in French?
C'est la même chose, ambiance.
Ambiance. Ambiance. Beatrice Edu will kill human being. Just look at the alleys leading to the rooms, etc. And there's a cozy bed.
Were those roses like
Yeah.
petals?
Yeah.
Wow.
Petals. The leaves, petals, the rose petals.
Oh, nice.
And they have this electric wine. That's how it is.
Yeah.
You if you don't have this card, you can't access.
I didn't get to see that particular room.
I went around though.
Yes.
Me, I left you. After I left you, went around.
I realized it.
I told them they should take me. I went around, went to the pool area, went to the rooms.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Because I can only dream to be at 4 points by Sheraton. And so yesterday I exploited everything.
Yeah.
And that's how maybe that's why this morning I drove there, thinking we were having the show there the second day. Not just Wednesday show.
You should have actually gone there last night to check in.
La ilaha illallah. You know,
but it was a great experience.
a friend of mine, he's an Ekrapim.
Yes.
You know, one where Kate, he told me this, and I think it's a proverb.
Yes.
When you don't have money,
yes.
you say medicine prescribed is not good.
Yes.
You know, you go to the pharmacy, you say, I want local dry. You don't want foreign taste. Fantastic experience yesterday.
Yeah, I had a great fun
I'm saying good morning to Chairman Godwin Tamaklo, great man, the great group chief executive for the Rates Group. You know, we marked your birthday within the Easter period as well. Great man, on the 5th of April. Yeah, so we had some cozy time. I missed the trip, so you have to prepare one for me. Dr. Salifu Kombat is the National Health Insurance Authority, Upper East Region. Everybody else watching us this morning, we're grateful, especially our international viewers. I have Justice, great friend of ours, you know, regular watcher. He's in Finland, Neo Dati Mills.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's his name on Facebook. Then Prince Nania Young, or Brim Pokaba, very stubborn guy. And then that Liverpool fan, who is also my friend, Zilis Dwayne, he lives in the UK as well. Uncle Charles Thompson, engineer Asamoah Chum, and then locally, of course, we have Prince Henry Kofodria, Sherry Giovanni, who goes by the name, Samuel, etc. Charlie.
Yeah.
Fantastic people.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what are we doing today?
Yeah.
Is it today that the women come?
Look at that.
Fantastic. Look at me. I was in Sonar Fashion Challenge at 4 Points by Sheraton. I'll never forget this hotel.
Yes.
Are we going there next week? Shadrach, are we going there next week? Shadrach, are we going next week? Look at the way I was walking, just as if I can afford. As if I can afford. Look at the way I'm walking. All this just showboating. Please, if you can afford it, go to Sheraton. Yeah. Have your meetings there, conferencing.
Affordable, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday we spoke to the general manager, Philippe Bayou, and good morning to you, sir. Yes.
No, me like this, pay my salary I can afford. But I know that there are people who can afford Sheraton. 4 Points by, I mean, I'm being truthful. So people can afford conferencing, breakfast. They do a la carte. Yesterday I asked, apart from buffet, they do a la carte as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
For the big issue, we'll be looking at the Kenneth Ofori-Atta being released from ICE detention, and also the statement issued by his lawyers. So we'll be going into that as well, implications really for all the cases that are currently pending. And of course, I'm sure you're aware that on Tuesday, Donald Trump, or the US and Iran, agreed on a 2-week ceasefire, which actually took effect yesterday. So what will that mean for our oil pricing and really things happening around? But again, this morning we talked about, on the news, we talked about the National Road Safety Authority banning the Toyota proxy vehicle.
I love that conversation.
Yes.
Have you seen them on the road?
Not necessarily.
I was traveling to the Volta region the other day. One came to speed by me, just sped like that. And when the car sped and then got in front of me, there was this bigger car, this Land Cruisers. And so when it also whips past the Toyota Foxy, then the car started doing like this on the road, on the other road though.
Yes. Yeah.
And so my mindset was that, is this car a family, just a cute family van, or just to be used for young comrades? Make we go camp quick. No.
But you see,
so they've taken an action on it.
They've taken an action on it.
Great.
And that's why I'm disappointed this morning that the GPRTU is speaking against it. GPRTU is condemning this ban. And I mean, I'm just wondering, are we looking at the safety of individuals, or we're looking at just our businesses only? Yes, it's understandable that there were systemic failures, like we heard the officials say. Why was it even allowed to be brought into the country in the first place? Who were those supposed to be checking at the point of entry, which allowed these cars to come in? And then when they came, why were they even registered? And so we failed at the entry, and then we endorsed the failure, as it were, during the registration period. And I shouldn't be expecting GPRTU to be issuing statements condemning this action. If these cars are involved in a lot of accidents, yes, it
resulting in deaths.
Exactly.
Sometimes, for most of the accidents that Voxy has recorded, the fatalities, usually they take 5 to 7. everybody dies.
I mean,
or mostly, for most of the accidents.
Yes, even if it's just one person who has died, it's unacceptable that a car is not safe. Yes, there might be cost implications because people paid to import these vehicles, but if they are claiming lives and causing injuries and an authority in place is trying to regulate the matter or deal with the problem, it shouldn't be issuing statements to condemn that action. I totally disagree with that, and I'm actually disappointed that lives are involved, and GPRT will be sitting there.
So you'll be discussing that for big issues?
No, we'll be doing that
for this morning segment. And then after 9 also, we can also further discuss that this morning.
We can further discuss
I think we need to do that.
I think that we're not doing so well. Still seeing a lot of accidents, and seriously, if you see the way people drive, it's crazy. From the motorcyclists to the trotro to all these vehicles, it's like everybody is just, sometimes, forgive me, but when I'm on the road and I see people drive like that, I feel, why did they leave their brains at home? Forgive me. But seriously, we need to really be mindful of how we drive. It just doesn't make sense to me. That we drive so recklessly and kill people, injure people, just unnecessarily, things that can easily be prevented.
And you know, I was telling you about Volta Region and
Yes.
So, and bringing deaths to mind, a friend of mine, we're going to bury the mother this weekend.
Can you imagine?
At Akachi. And let me say, my condolences to the family. This weekend we'll converge. That's to an assistant fire officer at the Electoral Commission headquarters right here in Accra. Wisdom Amatafa will make sure that we all converge at Akachi, Ajikama, and so we'll be there as well to make sure that all of us also commiserate with you. Subsequently, that'll be this weekend, and so we'll be there of your mom, Elizabeth Amatafa, as well. So wishing you all the best to the family. We'll all be there to commiserate with you and mourn with you. And you know, sometimes when you listen, especially on the Kumasi Highway, the deaths, there was one incident, I think just close to Ejiso. The Voxy just...
I mean, those places really have a lot of accidents.
And all occupants, all the passengers died. Including the driver, all the passengers died.
And we really, like I said, we really need to examine, like, you know, we have a rule where after driving, is it 6 hours or 3 hours, you're supposed to pause and rest. We don't seem to see that. And I remember in 2013, I was going to pick data as part of a documentary I was doing. And I made a mistake of deciding to pick one of these big buses that travel on long distances. And that experience I'll never forget. I warned myself I will never embark on such a journey because it was in the night and the car became so light and it was as if it was flying. And I was going to Wa in the Upper West region. I told myself, if this car had an accident, everybody on board would have died because it was that bad and there was no rest. And that journey was about 12 hours and more from Accra to Wa.
How many years ago?
That was in 2013.
So you nearly died in 2013.
And I told myself, I will not, if I'm supposed to travel to that part of the country, I will not use that route again. And so, I mean, this is something that has been with us for a very long time. And I do hope that we're able to put in the measures that make it punitive for people. And you know the funny thing, I'm sure you're aware of it. Sometimes when there are some of these gory accidents, the drivers survive. The ones who are driving recklessly, they end up surviving. There should be ways of really punishing these people when they find themselves in. It should be very expensive to drive.
It's not a laughing matter, by the way you said it. But so we'll make sure that we discuss this and we comprehensively take a look at it. I think for this morning segment also, we need to ask you what they make of the phenomenon where we have Toyota Voxy vehicles, especially, and they're always black. Somehow they're always black.
Maybe it's a spraying.
No, they're coming, I think, mostly black.
No, this one, I think I
you're sitting in a black car, and you know, when we are morning to we wear black. And you're going to die.
What are you implying with this statement?
And passengers are not able to tell drivers that, look, you've got to slow down. I think we need to ask viewers what they make of this, the decision by the Road Safety Authority, and the reaction from the GPRTU. You know, thinking because they are transport owners, etc. And so, but we need some caution on the road. At least if we intend using them, then we need to have speed limits. In those cars, so that they don't drive.
People respect that. I don't think so.
No, you can compel the drivers to do the adjustments in the cars mechanically. So, I think that should be done as well. So I don't know what they think about it, but they should be able to do that. So that will be our question of the day for this morning segment. I think we should discuss that.
Yep.
So we'll do that up next.
For long distance driving. It is for intra-city driving, not inter-city driving. But what do we see? We see the Voxes crisscrossing the length and breadth of this country. We are also being told that the ties are not for the purposes that the vehicle is being used in Ghana. It's unlawful. So when we are able to get the customs to stop the importation, then it cures that one. And then also those who are already in Ghana will need to ensure that they don't also move beyond the intercity.
He noted that
those who are engaged in the conversion are engaged in an illegality. Those people are brothels for vehicles. So we would target them and close them down and prosecute all those who are involved in that. Because the activities are killing us on the roads, and we will not allow that.
Well, so this is where we are. Even a friend of mine who is also mourning because dad has also passed, Justice Awute, is even telling me...
Through an accident?
No,
Okay.
no, naturally. But also took one to the hometown to go and do the funeral arrangements.
The proxy?
Yes,
the
Foxy, and said the state at which they were driving.
Yeah.
And they are marking the 1 week of the dad or the...
So he could have died 1 week after
this Saturday. This Saturday. I was also complaining. He's just sending me a message complaining about the state.
Yeah.
Justice Awute, good morning. Condolences to the family once again. It looks like everybody else bereaved is sending messages based on their experience with using the Voxy. It's not a funny issue at all.
Yeah.
I don't know what you make of it, but if you can call, give us your reactions to the subject. We'll also take you through the policy directive and safety determination by the National Road Safety Authority. And I think it's very poignant that we do that as well. It's coming quite handy, that this sort of announcement by the National Road Safety Authority to be able to do that. Messages flooding in concerning the use of these black Toyota Voxy vehicles on the road. They're supposed to take only 7 people, and the way they speed, no wonder everybody else is making references when it comes to the things that need to be done. And well, thankfully we have the Road Safety Authority. The point is that they have to make sure that they enforce this. Just like Justice Awute, my friend, was saying, going to the hometown to have funeral arrangements made for the dad, took one of this Toyota Voxy and could have been a victim of circumstance just because of poor regulation too. The drivers who are manning these vehicles just indiscriminately speeding. My condolences to the Awute family as well. And Beatrice, not a good sign.
I mean, it's not a good sign. And I think that if there is any decision or policy that is supposed to protect lives and property, we should all run behind it and ensure that we see to the successful implementation of such policies. Because in the end, it saves everybody. If you're opposing it today, who knows? The next time, you may be a victim of that same thing that would have come in to help you if you had supported it. And so, yes, we just should be able to deal with the increasing accidents on our roads. And I get reminded again about how people even become drivers in Ghana. I mean, the stories that you hear about people not necessarily going through the processes, and yet they end up getting license and trotro made because they've seen their masters driving, eventually end up taking cars and driving anyhow because that's what they've seen. We should have proper systems in place that ensure that if a doctor has to go through a process to be licensed, the same for a nurse, because you're taking care of human lives. If you're going to drive, you should be able to go through such a system that certifies you properly to behave well on the road.
Yeah, I really love the passion with which you've been able to use your own experiences to address the subject this morning. And that's why we very soon will have to invite our viewers, because there seemed to be a policy action undertaken by the National Road Safety Authority. And so we're hoping that enforcement will follow, because the policy directive and safety determination has been announced, is supposedly also supposed to ensure that the Road Safety Authority in itself makes that decision. The decision they've made is that they're banning commercial use of Toyota Voxy vehicles, and these are due to safety risk. Following that, the committee as set up finds its use in public transport as posing an unacceptable road safety threat. The Road Safety Authority is also intending to enforce an immediate halt on new commercial registrations for this type of vehicle. So not supposed, I don't know, they are not registered as commercial vehicles. They use the white number plates.
And yet they end
not the
up
yellow
on our
ones.
streets as commercial vehicles.
So if I was at that announcement, I would ask,
so
how are they going to?
Because where are the MTTD officials
because the number plates they use are white.
Yeah.
And you know that for some of the routes, they use private vehicles for commercial purposes, because that one is private, and that's how they are registered.
Yeah.
So we also have to be mindful of that. And the Road Safety Authority, apart from that, is saying that the move also signals a new shift in this. And so the next one is to make sure that there's compliance. The Voxys, according to the assessment that has been made by the committee set up by the National Road Safety Authority, is built for private use, not commercial operations. And we've reiterated this morning. Beatrice has done this as well. And it is supposed also to be optimized for low mileage purposes. It means that there should be a threshold by which you drive, Beatrice. They don't have to take a lot of big loads, just light loads, so to speak. And then also they are saying that this signals a shift towards stricter transport compliance and enforcement. The question is, are we going to make sure this is enforced?
Yeah.
And if citizens see this on the road, who do they tell? Is it the police? Will the police be acting? It's I guess a question we all have to ask ourselves, because it's one of the things, sometimes, Beatrice, for many of the times we're driving, we see poor defensive driving by other road users, and we keep asking ourselves, what then do we do?
Yeah.
What then
I
do
think
we do?
we need a total, we'll call it, overhaul of how we operate on our roads.
Yeah, true.
Where you see, sometimes you're driving and you see cars really blowing carbon monoxide, like it's so smoky.
Yeah.
The cars are so rickety. Why are they on the roads? I missed the period where there were a lot of MTTD officials on the roads. When I was in SS, I remember they'll be stopping you every time and be asking, why is your car smoking?
Yeah.
Why is it rickety? And a whole lot of things.
Just
Now
checking the roadworthiness.
Just exactly. Now I hardly see these MTTD officials there, and the big trucks that get spoiled on the road, sometimes very critical places on the road, and they are left there for like 3 days.
I love your observations. You're really an observant road user, really. Well, we have a number of calls already on the console, so we'll take the first one. Good morning. Who is this?
Good morning, Roland.
Good morning. Is that Alaji?
This is Alaji speaking. Alaji speaking for
Alaji, where are you calling from?
Port Cement.
Port Cement?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
This is a different Alhaji.
All right. Yes, sir.
For this was we need to say in bad drivers.
Please, can you raise your voice a bit, or perhaps maybe the floor sound we can. Bet me akasa.
You don't for the drum kellet, you will be more. I will do a drum castle. But any na, Mother Casse, Body Casse, the only people who touch your mind. Your family is if you do more. Cousin may be a family. They don't get a calendar. Your cousin is all most of the girls. By any na, Mr. Kevin. And oh, business property of Kupasinja.
Alaji
Yes, sir.
Intina agency na edi mo nim no GPRT for no say say woman National Road Safety Authority for na edi nkita ho no what you say me pa cho o shine na we use no Toyota Voxy no we use no kwan be so in terms of routes now we use no kwan be ya which of the routes from where to where okay Alaji one more unse tema to ana Accra tema to Tobo Accra tema ekwo Afla ukwan no ene Accra nsawom to Kumase kwan no ye nyina ye yusu ene ne Cape Coast no nso no ye yusu sisia me your observation be say me ankasa me drive no me hu a number of these Voxy drivers the way omo kaka ne nenye wo waginchire mu no wodwene say onkrofo na omukrasa ehyen no the way omu yusu cars na papa ne kwanso ano no ana
apa eto mu chekomu omo to mu check debe no ana obi so full of debe democracy eto o bra police mu driver no but any na driver no ma go from Belford from 1982 up to me fact about brigada
okay
and I don't school
yeah
na we see go na yemba
Alaji o free him fa and when oh okay so he's making a point that not all drivers but rather it's the absence of regulation because you need then to regulate the way the drivers use these cars.
Yeah, but
he has a point.
Yes, I agree.
And so the question I'll be asking the National Road Safety Authority and the committee they set up was that what sort of engagement did they undertake? Because you need to engage stakeholders widely before you come out with a policy decision which will affect livelihoods. We have another caller, Beatrice.
Yeah, we do. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. It's actually Peter T. Good morning, Peter T. I hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm well, Beatrice. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Please, share your thoughts with us.
How is Roland?
He's doing very well. He's just right here.
Oh, okay. I can see you in a very beautiful top.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, let me see the opportunity and say good morning to Alaji Yakondo. You know, he's the liaison officer, National Security, and then Mahdi, National Democratic Congress, is also the director of election. And then Emmanuel Ashali Tete, Greater Accra Regional Liaison Officer, National Security. And then finally, I will say Alaji Noga is the Treasurer, Greater Accra Region of NDC. Roland, this issue about this vaccine, transport and I just came I traveled on Monday and I came on Tuesday. And it is true. The way they ply the roads, it is unfair. Sometimes you could see that they want to forcefully overtake other cars because they think that their speed limit is above every car. And it is uncalled for. You see, we should not allow activities that are not in conformity with our cultural values because it affects our traditional values. And this is Ghana. We have nowhere to go. And the lives of Ghanaians are so much important. Look at the problems we are facing today. So if these instructions and practical advices can come from the ministries and other centers so that this very particular vehicle, I'm not saying that they should be banned forever, that they should not work at all. So the last caller, the first caller, made a very, passionate, was making a very passionate appeal to Amaliba that they will not allow this to happen because that is what they do to also take this thing, financial control over their family, that they take their school fees. We know. But you see, there should be a limitation, like you people are suggesting, that if it's within the Accra or if it is Kumasi, it should be within this cemetery, so that this long journey, look at them. The class I went to Takwa, when I was coming, it was the very only vehicle available for us to take. They take about 6 or 7 passengers. And I said, no. I put my bag in one of them, and I said, no. My friend told me that, look, these cars, the way they run, and they are very light too. They are weightless. Oh. They are not like other cars. For me, I like that when I was going to Cape Coast on Monday, I had an opportunity to get this Ford. And they are well fitted. These Ford buses, a very strong one. That is what I do. But so let's talk about this thing. We should not make it like a news, then we leave it like that. We should regulate it. We should have the other, how do you call them, authorities that are controlling some of these vehicles. Let the Amaliba meet there or the ministry meet there, that they should not be passed, but there should be a limitation. Long journey will not allow for this. Tema, Achama, they should be trying those areas so that we could see. These are family cars. Somebody brought some to me about last month. That 1.4, that is 140,000 Ghana cedi. It's a family car. If I'm interested to buy, I'll use it as a family car, but not as commercial vehicle. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. T.
And the messages just keep trickling in.
Yes.
I have this one from Felicia Irajwa Edudanso. Says that I took one from Cape Coast to Accra in December. Anytime a car passes by us, the Voxy shakes. I'm not trying to dramatize this. Look, he said the brakes are bad and the drivers are even worse. They drive so fast.
Of course.
Passengers should also learn to also speak up when drivers drive recklessly.
You know, what I find interesting is whenever we want to regulate things, then you hear the stories about we need to take care of our families. I'm not saying that's not important. That is important, but it should be done within regulation. We do have the boss of the National Road Safety Authority with us, Mr. Abraham Amaliba, private legal practitioner as well. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers.
Thank you. So this morning we're talking about the decision of your office to ban Toyota Proxy Voxy. If you can tell us really what this whole regulation is about, because now people are complaining about their livelihoods. What is the extent of this ban and how do we move forward with it?
They don't complain about their livelihood at the expense of people who are dying. They are alive and they want to eat. How about those who are dead? The point is this: we received a number of petitions from the public concerning the reckless driving and the involvement of Voxy vehicle in accidents. So we said that we couldn't just go ahead to issue compliance notices. We needed to have a technical committee, a working group, and we brought people from the logistics industry. We brought a lecturer from the engineering department of KNUST, DVLA, Ghana Standards Authority. Toyota company itself in Ghana was represented. So 12-member committee. And yesterday was the day they presented their reports. So it is not true that we are banning. It is true that in their recommendations, they said we should ban the use of Voxy vehicles for intercity commercial driving. Again, and I'm choosing my words carefully. They presented a report yesterday to the National Road Safety Authority. The National Road Safety Authority has not taken a decision yet. It will be taking a decision. And the recommendations are that, one of the recommendations are that we should limit Voxy vehicles for intra-city driving, not intercity, not across cities. So that was the recommendation.
What do you?
And we are looking at it.
You're looking at it. What do you say to the statement coming from the GPRTU? I'll just read a bit of that to you. It says the Commercial Transport Operators of Ghana view the National Road Safety Authority's decision to ban the Toyota Voxy for commercial purposes as a lazy and ill-conceived approach to addressing road safety concerns. The statement goes on further to say that instead of engaging in blanket bans, you should be focusing on educating drivers to improve their skills.
This goes beyond education. We are saying that under the Customs Act 891, right-hand vehicles are not supposed to be imported into the country for the first place. I'm saying again, it is illegal. It is wrong. How can education cure that? So we want the Customs and Department of GRA to tighten the screws and stop the importation of those vehicles. If you want, at 891, I can go to 58. It says you can't import those vehicles. 2, it is also against our Road Traffic Act to convert a right-hand drive to left-hand drive. How does education do that? Why don't you educate armed robbers? People are breaking the laws and you are saying education.
All right. Okay, Mr. Maliba. Looks like we're having...
Laws are being broken. And we are now up in arms to ensure that the people who import these vehicles don't import them. And you hear somebody saying we should educate them. When the police troops on brothels, do they educate them that brothels are no good before they arrest them? We are talking about the law has been broken. It's wrong to import right-hand drive into the country. It is also wrong to convert them. What's the education about it?
Mr. Maliba, briefly before you go, is it possible for your office to also investigate whichever individuals within the institutions that allowed this to come in and to be registered for commercial purposes? When you see the number plate is white, which is indicative that it was registered for perhaps private use, and why it eventually ended up on the roads, just so people are held accountable for what we're saying now?
So with this one, how is education the course? How is education the course? You register your private vehicle, you are using it for commercial purposes. Then we are clamping down on that. Then it's education. What is education about it? So what we are doing is that in the coming days, we are going to write to various institutions and attach the reports to that letter, and then seeking audience with them. So we are going to seek audience with Customs. We are going to seek audience with DVLA. We are going to seek audience with the Ghana Standard Authority, and we are going to seek audience with the police MTTD and attach the copies of the report. That's the way we want to go about it. But we also would meet the operators, the transport operators. So we are scheduling a meeting with them by next week. We'll meet them.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr.
But it goes. Let the people know. People are breaking the laws, and so it is not like as if it is just about education, but it is also about breaking the laws, and we need to ensure that we clamp down on those people and stop this education thing.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Abraham Amaliba, Director General, National Road Safety Authority. And let me just clarify that this statement I just read, a bit of it I just read to Mr. Amaliba, is rather coming from Commercial Transport Operators of Ghana and not necessarily the mother body of the GPRT.
So the decision they've made, which they've announced by way of the new policy direction for the use of these Toyota Voxy cars, is if I, as a private person, I can use that with my friends and travel somewhere else.
Yes.
Because you are more responsible. But you cannot but you cannot use it for commercial purposes intra-city.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you get it? Connecting one city to the other or one town to the other, which makes sense.
Yes.
Which makes sense. So it's not as if that it's there's no total ban on the use of Toyota Voxy vehicles.
Yes.
But you cannot be in Accra, go and board it and use it to Aplawo or Kumasi or somewhere else. It's not going to happen according to. And they've given all the signals to the MTTD personnel on the road.
Yes,
Okay,
and
let's read.
I hope this doesn't sound insensitive. I agree with a limit of education. We always say, let's educate them. How long are we going to educate people who have refused to
All
learn?
right. I think we have more callers. Let's try
Yes, we
to
do.
see.
Okay, I think we'll be...
Mr. Maliba, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
But
So,
like you said...
a number of comments coming through before you come through. This one is coming from Madam Anne, an educationist with Ijumakun Guest School A, and says that, I understand that these Toyota Voxy vehicles were designed as family minivans and not for heavy passenger commercial transport. And honestly, from a safety perspective, this is a strong and responsible decision by the National Road Safety Authority. And then we also move on. Okay, so I've seen Haja Lorato. Haja Lorato, I've seen your message. Do you want me to read it publicly? I can also do that if you want me to. Please
confirm.
Yeah. So just let me know if I can read yours publicly. But Prince Naniayo, he lives in the UK, so a lot of perspective. And you also have been in Europe, so you know how it is. He says that I understand the plight of Alhaji, your first caller, because that's where he gets his income or daily bread from, notwithstanding. They should be regulated to a number of mileage on the road. For instance, it could be used for town running or inner city travels, but not long distances. They should allow the larger buses go for long distances to save lives. We beg them.
Yeah.
And then Sherry Giovanni says, sometimes I wonder if these vehicles are cars or papers. Okay, the way you're saying it means you sat in one. They move at a speed of light, and sometimes when they bypass you by the roadside, the wind accompanying them will throw you away into the bush. The irony is they are the preferred vehicles by students, especially the tertiary ones when the semester has ended and they are going home. Okay. I support the move to ban these vehicles for commercial. Shadrach Abe is our lead producer. Shadrach, have you used it before?
Yeah, because he's telling us he has this. He looks like it's very comfortable, he's saying.
Okay.
But yes, no matter how it is, whether it's comfortable or not, we should be able to operate.
I think
let me just read about two or three
I think
messages.
I'll call, but this one is very vital.
Yes.
This one is coming from ACP Cephas Arthur.
Okay, the former national PR for the police service.
But currently with the Ashanti South
Yes.
region, Bakwai, that's where the office is.
Yeah.
And so you celebrated, I remember you celebrated your birthday on April 7th. So happy birthday belated to you. And says that in my area of supervision, I've coordinated one with the MTTD to make sure that there's regulation and then there's strict compliance when it comes to making sure questions are asked on the road by officers or personnel for the users of these vehicles. Very important.
Let me just read about two or three messages. And from Fakakiwa says, my regards to Alhaji Al-Hassan. He says, kudos to the sachet water producers for backing out of the idea of increasing the price of sachet water. Ghana is really on reset.
Voxy. Toyota Voxy.
Yes. No. He's talking about the sachet water. Let me just read this and then I will go for a break. He said, good morning, Beatrice and Roland. Besides banning the importation of the Toyota Voxy vehicles, it will be prudent to move a step further to stop those of them already in the system from engaging in any public. And I think that's what really Mr. Amaliba came to clarify for us. And says, greetings to my son, Aziz Stola. Well, pick up your day, the Milky Way, with a rich, smooth taste of Peck milk shortcake. It is just pure delight, and go to any shop and find all the flavors you need. But Roland, we are cashing out today. We're giving 10,000 Ghana cedis to 10 individuals. You want to play? You get to have the opportunity of getting 1,000 Ghana cedis out of the 10,000 we're giving. Always remember, it is *439#. You follow the prompt, and you know that you got to pick your favorite platform, which is right here on TV3. On the dashboard, you see number 2. That's your favorite platform, TV3. So keep playing. Roland right here will tell you that you play at least 40 times, and you get the chance of winning. And so keep playing, *439#. Follow the prompt, pick your favorite platform, number 2, which is TV3. And you're still here on TV3 Newday. When we come back, we'll bring you the big issue and some more. Do stay with us. you're still here on New Day on TV3. Welcome to The Big Issue. This morning, we're going to look into the information given us yesterday by the lawyers of Ken Ofori-Atta that indeed he's been released from ICE detention in the US that we understand happened on Tuesday. And of course, we got the information yesterday and we saw that statement coming from the lawyers of Ken Ofori-Atta and the fact that he's been reunited with his family. Of course, thanking those who supported him with prayers during his detention time. But beyond this, we're going to look into the implications of this because, as you're aware, there's already an immigration case. He was supposed to have gone back to court for his hearing on the 27th of April. Now, this release has come ahead of that. We also do know of the extradition process that was attended in by the government of Ghana in the US, and also the other investigations ongoing even by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So all these things happening and now the current information coming in. In addition to that, we would also go into the fact that the United States of America with Iran have agreed 2-week ceasefire. Agreed on a 2-week ceasefire to allow the Strait of Hormuz, which has about a fifth of the world's oil or 20% of the global crude passing through there. Now, with this, it means that the Strait of Hormuz has been opened. There are conflicting reports that because Israel is continuously bombarding Lebanon, it was closed again. But the general understanding is that within this 2 weeks period, as negotiations are going on, the Strait of Hormuz will be opened for the world to have access to at least its 20% of oil coming from that gateway. So we'll be looking at the implications of this as well on the prices of fuel in Ghana. I do have on the panel with me Madam Rotlyn Ayana, Imora Ayana, who is public interest advocate and regular panel member. Good morning to you, ma'am. It's great to have you.
It's always good to be here.
Yes, of course. I also do have with us Madam Gabriela Tete, who is the Central Regional Communications Director for the governing NDC. It's great to have you as well. Good morning.
Good morning, Beatrice.
We'll be joined. Yes, he will be joined in studio by Hajia Gloria Menu, who is a national women's organizer for the United Party, as well as Hajia Rabiatu Salifu, Deputy Director of Communications for the MPP. Shortly, we'll be joined as well by private legal practitioner Martin Pigbu, who will be helping us go through this very legal issue as regards Ken Ofori-Atta. But perhaps I can start with you, Madam Ayana. Your thoughts on this latest information coming to us. ICE confirming, even before we had that statement coming in from the lawyers of Mr. Ofori-Atta, that he had been released from ICE detention after his detention in January this year.
Good morning to our cherished viewers and good morning to our good selves here. The Ofori-Atta story seems not to be getting any better. I was a bit surprised when I heard that he had been released from the ICE office, the detention center. But then reading through all the other things that came out about the case, the fact that his passport had been confiscated, and also the fact that there was a bill, a huge bill sum and all that, it just gave me the feeling that this case is not over yet. This particular one with the ICE, I think, has to do with immigration. Mm-hmm. And the one that we are very much interested in as a country has to do with the extradition that we want him to be extradited to Ghana. So they're two different cases, but the two also kind of like marry themselves, because at the end of the day, we are hearing that he wants to get citizenship, a permanent stay, which for me is just another cowardly way of running away from justice. Because if you belong to a country and you've been a finance minister for almost like 8 years, the whole economy of that country was on your back, and you believed at that time in the judicial system and the legal structures of this country, there is no reason why at this particular moment you must have some kind of feeling that you're not going to get a fair trial or a fair hearing, or this is a politically motivated kind of search for you. I don't think that is good. I'm also looking at the fact that as it stands now, whichever way Ofori-Atta wants to look at it, I think that we will continue as a country to ask for his extradition. We will continue as a country to make the American government aware of the fact that this is one person that Ghanaians are looking out for, and therefore we expect the right things to be done. And so Ken is really familiar with workings of our legal system. So I don't see why he's running away. Me, that's the way I see it. He's running away from our legal system. And for me, that is not good enough as a country. You know, because what it actually means is that you are telling the international community that our judiciary and our legal setup are not independent, which is very bad for a country because it even drives away investors. You understand? That's the kind of thing you're telling other people. And for someone who has been a finance minister, that's not a mean office. That is a very, very important office. You sit in cabinet, you know everything. And this is not the first time. You've been in politics for such a long time. You've been in business, and you know what this means to the country. I think that he's been unfair to us. And it's about time we really, as Ghanaians, called him out.
It's about time we really, as Ghanaians, called him out. In conclusion, you're saying that or in summary, as regards what you're saying, you think he's running away, but again, looking at how things have gone so far, you do not think that it is the end of the case yet?
No, it can't be the end.
Yes. Madam Gabriela Tete, your thoughts on this?
Yes, this initial commentary, this is the main discussion.
Your initial thoughts?
Well, my initial thoughts, I think I'll continue from where she left off, because I do agree with her in her concluding statement that he has to come and explain himself and his role in the allegations that have been meted out against him. His pictures are still on the Special Prosecutor's website as wanted for the SML and the rest. SML cases and the rest, together with other decisions in line with that contravene the Public Financial Management Act, and then also procurement issues. So he does have a case to answer. And, you know, again, from where she came from, the NPP, and I'm glad Rabi is here so that we can tell her to inform her party that at the end of the day, accountability must take prominence over political propaganda and whatever political agenda that any of us political parties may have. At the end of the day, per the Constitution, he held public office and was given responsibility over the public purse, the exchequer purse. He was, if I'm not mistaken, he's probably been the longest serving finance minister. So if anybody should feel obliged, even within themselves, to clear themselves, because these are matters of your integrity and reputation and all that. You know, the last time that I was here, we were discussing the same issue. And I made the point that prior to Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta becoming a public officer, he was a very respected individual in the investment banking industry.
Yes.
You see, so I don't think that a man of his caliber should even allow himself to be dragged the way he's being dragged at the moment. A public office, yes, it has its perks and its challenges and its issues. And this is just one part of it. When you take public office, you have to accept the fact that you are accountable to the people and to the laws. And at the end of the day, this country is still governed by laws. And political parties, that's why I'm coming back to Rabi, and because it is between she and I, representing NDC and NPP. Political parties must show to the people that we are serious about accountability. And at the end of the day, they are judging us day in, day out. They are judging us by how we play, what do you call this, Kokofo football. We pass it, and then we can't make head until of where the situation is going. That era is gone. Ghanaians are watching both of us keenly. And at the end of the day, the onus should be on their party. Make sure that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta comes and faces the music. I was listening to their director legal. I think he's called Mr. Frank Davis, right?
Yes.
And he was...
Well, he is one of the leading legal persons in the party, but the director legal is Gary Nimako.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I was listening to Mr. Frank Davis, and he's
a lawyer. He's one of the lawyers for Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta.
Yes. And he was making the point that nobody has officially informed Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta about the charges that we've been discussing on platforms and the rest. And I found it very strange because it's either he's twisting the facts or we've been blowing hot air and just making noise, which I doubt, because at the end of the day, the evidence still exists on the special prosecutor's website that Ken Ofori-Atta is a wanted man and he must come and answer for these issues. So whichever propagandist gymnastics the NPP wants to play around the issue, facts are facts. At the end of the day, the whole entire Ghana's revenue plus ability to go and borrow and take whatever financial decisions was handed to you. And this is the outcome of those decisions and your choices that you made. And so whether they like it or not, the gentleman must face the music. I'm not saying I'm happy because it doesn't really make any difference to me, but I at least, if for nothing at all, he's left that what used to be a Virginia prison detention center, sleeping on what is like a bank student's size bed, and now he can go back and spend time with his family and live in the comfort of his home. His passport is gone, it's been seized. There are some other conditions. There are some other conditions that are taking effect because of where he is now. He's going to go back to court in, I think, on April 27th, to continue with this case. So whichever way you run around the issue, nothing really has changed about it except his sleeping place. But as to he coming back to Ghana, is a given. Whichever be the case, he will have to come and account.
He will have to come and account. Let me acknowledge the presence of Hajia Gloria Menu, who is the National Women's Organizer of the United Party. Of course, we heard her speak as well as in Hajia Rabiatu Salifu, who is Deputy Director of Communications for the opposition NPP. I'm also acknowledging the presence of Mr. Martin Kwegbu, private legal practitioner. He's joined us via video call. Mr. Kwegbu, I'll come to you very shortly. Let me just get the initial thought of the women in studio here, and I'll come to you very quickly. So I'm coming to you, Hajia Rabiatu. Your initial thought on this information coming to us that ICE has now released Mr. Ofori-Atta from its detention after his incarceration, as it were, in January.
Mommy.
They gave her a whole synopsis to come and read.
And it's
look at all the things she's been sent to come and read to us.
Please, are you able to...
You don't do
what? She can't answer the question.
You don't... I shouldn't talk.
She's not saying that.
No.
Please go ahead.
How are you this morning?
I'm well. How are you?
Fine. And I don't like it when I sit by Gabi. Yes, so I come in peace this morning. Me today, I'm very peaceful. Very, very peaceful. You see, I'm in pink and I feel so peaceful. What is going on is simple. And I want to first of all say good morning to everyone viewing us and Gabi, who wants to be problematic this morning for me, but I refuse it because I don't know why she's saying they've given me notes to come and talk and all that. Which political party communication doesn't even prepare their communicators before speaking? But the point is, this is even the essence of the Constitution that I'm sharing with her as a good sister of mine, to just look at what the Constitution is saying. Look, this whole conversation is simple. Wanted, not wanted, accused, alleged, whatever. Yes, it's true. The man has served in public office and should be held accountable when need be. He should be asked questions when there should be questions to be asked. If he's being sued, or the AG is inviting him, or Iyoko, or whoever is inviting him, all is in place. That should be done. At the moment, the man wasn't well. He's been away. He has lawyers who have been corresponding with the government and all the people who wants to engage him. I think it's a very good process. And it's a very fair process that we are witnessing here. except the fact that some people started, and I'll be so specific, the ages started with media trials. So many needless commentary that we stood up and spoke and said, Masa, please, prejudicial approach is not what we want. We want the man to come. Article 19, which I showed to Gabi, and she just tried doing some, I don't know whether she just wanted to worry me or what, speaks about fair trial. And we all know that the fairness of being heard or the opportunity given to whoever is accused. And the point is, when the person is proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. So yes, I'm part of the people who expect to see the finance minister back in the country. I would as well wish him well in terms of his healing and treatment process. And I would be so happy to have the whole nation go through this very important process with him. It's very good. For those who, and I'm so happy that this morning nobody has called him a thief or criminal, which is the right thing to do. You don't have to call him thief, you don't have to call him a criminal until the facts are established. So for me, I'll always say, sis, let's take it easy. We all want the betterment of this country. We have seen people being tried. They are human beings. We have seen people being set free. They are equally human beings. When he's proven guilty, there is a way to go about it. When he comes and he's clean, there is obviously a way to go about it. So I'm pleading with the generality of Ghanaians that, yes, it is good that we are keenly monitoring. It is good that we are encouraging the former finance minister to come. And I believe in our peaceful nature as a country. I believe in our democracy as His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa strengthened and left it. And I'm pretty sure the NDC will continue to strengthen, to do what is right for us as a country, and we all would have a very peaceful, developed, and forward-looking country.
Let me get your initial thoughts as well, Madam Gloria Amenu. Okay. Before I come to you, Mr. Martin Kwibu.
Good morning to my viewers. Good morning to the Golden House United Party. I'm very happy to see NDC and PP together here this morning. And as you know, I'm also in white again. Moral support. I was thinking Hajia also wear white to support our Honorable Ken. Unfortunately, she's in pink. You know, this issue about corruption and accountability is very important. And I always say, we should be angry as a nation to push these things to the tables. We should be angry to see accountability. I'm happy hearing Hajia calmly this morning saying that she's also part of people who are waiting. Yes. So I was thinking that you'd be adding your voice. Ken, come home, come home, come home.
He's
come
unwell. I want him to be well.
Come and prove.
He should be well treated and back.
Hajia,
so I won't give him pressure.
I didn't talk. I just addressed.
Please, let her finish with her thoughts.
I was thinking that we'll push. Come home and prove yourself. In fact, I was sad when I saw him standing and trying to dress up and the camera was on him. There is no place like home. We are waiting for you to come and just say that I'm not the one. If it's 1.4 billion, I'm not the one. Come and prove yourself. So with ICE and detention, we are all waiting to see Ken come. MPP will advise him because we brought you as a finance minister. Advise him that bring the proof, avail yourself. Now at least from the pictures we are seeing, from the videos we are seeing, we're seeing that he's improved health-wise. Yes, so he should just come, avail himself, prove himself that all these allegations you are leveled against me are not true. Then we know that yes. And then to NDC, this time we hope that immediately we get Ken here. It's not going to be stories. We're not going to hear that it's a process. We want to see accountability. We want to see action rather than the oral.
Are you implying that the moment he arrives, he should just, you know, be in prison or something?
Oral. We don't want to have oral. We want to see action.
Not talking.
Not talking. We want to see action.
So what sort of actions? Because indeed the Constitution says until proven guilty, somebody is innocent. So what kind of actions?
The action is, we don't want to see the press conferences, but we want to see processes being taken in place. We want to see step one. We are going to do this. Immediately Ken arrives, we're calling him. We are going to do this. We are going to do that. Step two, this is what we are going to do. And we want to see it being done, not the oral talks. I rest my case.
You rest your case. I'm coming to you, Mr. Martin Pegbu. I'll come back to you. Please note your point. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Hello, Lawyer Pegbu. If you can hear us, I don't know whether you're muted. Good morning. Please, thank you for joining us. Excellent.
Yeah, good morning. Morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. So let me first get your thought on really your understanding of this judicial order, as we saw in that statement coming from the lawyers of Mr. Ofori-Atta, that eventually led to his release from ICE detention. What's your understanding of this judicial order as a lawyer?
So, Beatrice, in simple terms, that is an order for bail. So when an accused or a suspect is given bail pending trial, it means that he's been released from custody to go home, but the case is still in court. The case has not been concluded. So you hear as part of, and I'm sure you mentioned this, as part of the further information, they have the next court sitting on the 27th of April or so.
Yes.
So it tells you that the case hasn't concluded yet. So as to whether Ofori-Atta is guilty or not, we would not know until the case is concluded. But at least for now, he's free to go home, and then there are measures in place to ensure that he comes to stand trial, to make sure that he would attend court on the 27th and beyond that. Yes, so the bail doesn't mean Ofori-Atta is free forever, free forever, free forever. No.
Indeed.
No.
So what you're essentially saying is that it is just the sleeping place, as it were, just to put it in simple terms, that has changed. This has no impact, as it were, on this immigration issue and indeed the extradition process that Ghana has also started.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's good you've mentioned the extradition case, yes. So now that means also that he potentially could be taken back into custody once the extradition case gets to that stage. Because you see, a critical part of extradition proceedings is usually that they keep the accused person in custody. Because you see, you don't want to finish an extradition case and then you don't have the accused or the suspect or whoever is wanted to deport the person, to take the person to where he's being wanted. So usually, when the an extradition case is going on, they don't grant bail to the accused person. No, they usually don't. Even in Ghana, we don't do it much of the time, right? And in the US, it's the same. And for lawyers who are following, or for those who are not lawyers but want to read, if you read one of the cases I took to the Supreme Court, Martin Pegbu #2 versus Attorney General #2, you see the Supreme Court compare our law to the US law. And the Supreme Court made a point that in the US, they almost never grant bail to somebody undergoing extradition proceedings. But in Ghana, we want to give the judges more discretion. You know, the non-bailable cases, because some cases were listed and the law was that the judge should never grant bail. So the judge didn't even have a discretion. So when the Supreme Court was taking away that blanket ban, or call it, that blanket ban, the Supreme Court said, no, we'll leave it for the judges to decide on individual basis, etc. Right? So the point is that when it comes to extradition in the US, it's almost impossible to get bail. So the fact that Ofori-Atta is on bail is not the end of the matter. Depending on how good our extradition case goes, he would have to be taken back into custody.
So the understanding is that somebody who is already going through an extradition process, he shouldn't have bail. Yes, but there's also the immigration bit. Why, in your opinion, do you think the judge or the court would give this order, which eventually would give him bail, aside from his health? Because earlier, ICE told us that he was medically fit to be in detention.
Yeah, so Beatrice, what we'll do is that, that's why we've called upon Attorney General, despite some people, and I heard even one of the panelists this morning saying that the Attorney General was doing media trial. No, that's not what he's doing. So we will continue to plead with the Attorney General to come out and give us updates. Whoever thinks it's a media trial, sure, it's a democracy. The person is entitled to their opinion. But for the larger majority, we will need to hear, even if maybe the Attorney General decides that henceforth not he himself, but maybe a designated senior official, fine. But as for the updates from the Attorney General's chambers, we would need that. We would need that. You see, those who are afraid, right, are the ones who don't want the Attorney General to give us progress so that it will be quiet and then it will seem as if they didn't do anything wrong. You see, so when you hear the calls, no, the Attorney General is doing a media trial. No, the actual thing is get the Attorney General silent, silence him, so that once you don't hear from the Attorney General, then it will look like, oh, nothing happened really, and Ora is dead and those things that they are doing. We've seen through it. We will call on the Attorney General to continue to update citizens. Look, information is a currency for development. The citizens need to know at every point what's going on so that it fits into the development agenda. Good. So Beatrice, the point is that now I would not be able to go into the details of why the judge granted bail because we don't have the court transcript. Perhaps the Attorney General does. So if he is able to come out, then he can give us more details because, citizens were shut out of the hearing on the first day. We'll leave out the reasons. So you see that I don't want us to speculate, right? But the point we
had the lawyers of Kenofuriata saying the subject was too sensitive and so it should be held in camera or the hearings should be in camera, and the court seemed to have agreed with that and granted that.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. The reasons, too sensitive is relative. It's relative. I don't want us to digress so that because there are a lot more to cover here. So that's their call. It's all right. It should not detain us. I won't spend my time on it. But rather, what we should be looking at now is that all this brouhaha, rigmarole, due process, you see, they are running under due process. I remember yesterday I said no, they're doing due process one-sided, not completely. The same due process in the Constitution, Article 19, and I'm happy the MPP panelist was referring to Article 19. Beatrice, if you have your Constitution there, look at Article 19, Clause 3. 19, Clause 3, the first part of this says that, I'm paraphrasing, I don't have mine here. It says, the trial of an accused person shall take place in his presence. The trial of an accused person shall take place in his presence. So, it is a duty, constitutional duty, for Oforiatta to come and stand the trial. If Oforiatta and the MPP have respect for the Ghanaian constitution, Oforiatta should be on the next flight available to Ghana.
So let me read that to you, Mr. Kpegbu. It says, the clause 3 says, the trial of a person charged with a criminal offense shall take place in his presence, unless A, he refuses to appear before the court for the trial to be conducted in his presence after he has been duly notified of the trial, or B, he conduct himself in such a manner as to render the constitution of the continuation of the proceedings in his presence impracticable, and the court orders him to be removed for the trial to proceed in his absence.
Excellent. So you see, the trial of a person charged with an offense, so that's an accused person. A person charged with an offense is what we call an accused person, shall take place in his presence. So you see the way you've seen it, Beatrice. Now, it's a duty. It's not a choice to attend trial. So when you hear those who haven't understood the constitution well, and they say, Oforiatta has no duty to come to court. No, it's not his duty. He can come if he wants. It's a lie. Beatrice, what we've read, the part that says, unless he refuses. Let's be careful. There are 1,001 decided cases. When you say refuses, it doesn't mean the accused person can sit at home and say, but the Constitution says if I refuse, you can go on. No, that's not the meaning. If you refuse, right, what they'll do is that you'll be arrested in the first place, and if you are brought into court, the refusal part, and you are being rowdy, etc., then you'll be taken into custody. The refuse doesn't mean you refuse and you are in your house drinking cocoa and kose and masa, right? Or eating akple, etc. No, 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 no. If you refuse, you'll be in custody. You'll be in custody. So please let it sink and sink well to those who are saying that Oforiatta has no duty to come and assist the court, etc. It's a lie. That is how come when you refuse and you're in Ghana, we will seek the accused out, arrest him and take him to court by force, like we say in Ghanaian English, by force. And if he's being rowdy in court, then he's taken into custody, then the trial will continue. And then if he refuses because he's outside Ghanaian borders, then we apply for extradition. And that is what we've done in Oforiatta's case. So Oforiatta is breaching the Constitution by refusing to come down. It's a breach of the Constitution, Article 19, Clause 3. It's a constitutional duty that he must come. So anybody, the MPP, Akufo-Addo, all the big wigs who don't tell and cannot publicly come and confirm to us that they've told Oforiatta to come down and perform his constitutional duty are doing that a great disservice. And it's an indication that they are not ready to come and govern in future, because if they don't understand accountability, how are we ever going to trust them with power again? It's a shame. So every time I hear people, and yesterday I was on another platform, and when I said these things and also mentioned the role of the special prosecutor, then Frank Davis took me to the cleaners and said all manner of unprintable things. I'm not responding to those. I just want to stay to the core. The message is that under law, Oforiatta's continued stay in the U.S. is a breach of Article 19, Clause 3. He is aware we are looking for him. At a point, there is correspondence between him and his lawyers and the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And far earlier, he had offered to do virtual hearings. We like to call all virtual hearings Zoom, right? Because I think we like Zoom is easier to pronounce, it appears, right? So he's aware he's wanted. Now, and one of, is it Gabi who mentioned, Gabi Tete mentioned that the fact that he's wanted is also on the OSP website. And he and his lawyers have been communicating with OSP. So when the same lawyers turn around and say due process, Oforiatta is not aware of any charges, then it's so farcical, very, very farcical, very illusory. And that's how come I had to say that some people were making submissions in a manner that suggested that we weren't considering Anna. There's also Anna. Look, in due process and in democracy, there is a huge place for Anna. So sometimes let's be careful. It's not everything we just come and see on radio. Beatrice, look, let me tell you, you would hear your father. I mean, I hope the women don't take me on, but I'm just narrating stories you see. You would come in with a certain man, right? You want to say, oh, daddy, this is my husband to be. After he's gone, you hear your parents say, no, that family, there's no Anna. They have no Anna in that family. And it's not only in Ghana, it's most civilizations I've seen. UK, US, I mean, come on. The Islamic countries is even higher. Hey, that one, I'm not encouraging it, but if you bring down the family Anna in a lot of Islamic countries, even sometimes they kill you, right? So when I mention Anna, it's not a joke. Then you hear somebody say, "Baby sounds like a carpenter," and I'm like, wow. So carpenters have no space to also contribute in the democracy, or bricklayers have no space to contribute in the democracy. I know 1,000,001 bricklayers who will tell you that my family name, we don't do this in my family. A carpenter who will tell you that in my family, we don't do this. If the carpenter's son brings this type of thing to his family, it's big trouble. And so far, I'm not hearing the MPP talk about Oforiatta's family, Anna. And it's disturbing. It's disturbing because I just see people trying to run under some laws, half-baked law, half-baked solutions. They are not looking at the Constitution holistically. In accountability, when we say be accountable, public officers become accountable. Part of accountability is also Anna. Anna is written into the fabric of accountability. So when you go to Article 41, Beatrice, maybe you can read through to, you see the duties of a citizen. As long as Oforiatta remains a citizen of Ghana, he also has a duty to help protect the public purse. Okay?
Mr. Kpebu, if we could be wrapping up on this conversation, and I want us to stick to really the latest decision of the court in the U.S. Earlier, you were saying that this wouldn't affect the extradition process, and neither will it affect the substantive case as well of his immigration issue. But again, we also know from his lawyers that he had applied for permanent stay in the U.S. Do I also take it that it doesn't affect this as well in any way? There's no influence?
Well,
please, I would, no, that's fine, but please, I will let you come in if you can wrap up, and I'll wrap up with him before. I want to tell him my name. Haja, I will come to you. Let me finish with him. I'll let him go, and then you can come in, please. Lawyer Kpebu, if you can answer that briefly for us, we need to wrap up.
Yeah, okay, so okay, so because there's no time to develop, I'll make some major points we can't explain. Listen, when it comes to immigration matters, let me be clear. There's a lot of politics right in immigration cases, okay? This is the Trump era. So this deportation will not deport the person. There's a huge discretion. So it's up to the immigration judge. And let's be careful that a lot of the immigration judges, they are not independent judges. So there is in the U.S., the equivalent of Ghana's Attorney General's chambers, or like you hear Attorney General's department. The lawyers there, they use a lot of them, okay, as immigration judges. It's not, this one is not a federal court, etc. So the point I'm making is that from their history, etc., the Trump thing that they would deport people, etc., looms large. So you cannot analyze this case strictly legal. There's a lot of politics in it. So with the conclusion that if the government wants him deported, no matter where he passes, they will deport him on the immigration matter. If they don't want to deport him they will not deport him. It's also important to consider that he has very powerful lawyers. John Ashcroft is a former Attorney General of the U.S. John Ashcroft, former Attorney General of the U.S. and a strong Trump supporter. And he's a lobbyist. When they say lobbyists in the U.S., people who, even though there are some in Ghana, but they are not professionally organized. By the U.S., they are professionally organized, and they go and seek government favors. You want certain things done. They are the fixers. They fix things, etc. So Oforiatta has strong fixers, etc. So it's a complex case. You cannot say he'll be thrown down immediately, and neither can you say he can walk easily. It all depends ultimately on what the Trump government wants to do with him. It's not strictly just black and white law. It's very nuanced. I think it's sufficient.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And just very briefly before you go, the statement, the second paragraph of the statement coming from Mr. Oforiatta's lawyer said that Mr. Oforiatta remains fully committed to use due process in defense of his rights as guaranteed under the Constitution and laws of the United States. How do you take that? Briefly.
It's hogwash. It's absolute hogwash, because the point we're making is that the government of the United States says he's breached his visa rules. They want to deport him. He's fighting that he should not be deported, right? And then we in Ghana to need him to come and account. When you put these two together, only one irresistible conclusion. Oforiatta, get on the next flight to Ghana. The next flight, that's all. And the MPP, Ekufuado, etc., that's what they should be telling Oforiatta and coming to confirm to us publicly. We don't need all this rigmarole. Look, the extradition case will end up spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, to be able to get it through. When he can simply get on the next flight and come and stand trial, as some ministers not in trial already, others, Napo and Co. Doesn't Napo, former education minister, go to BNI and come? The rest, Mohamed Amin Anta, he's been named this is some of the cases. You can get the list, Siama, etc. Minister Kwachi Fosu went through the list of ministers who are going to face trial, etc. They are in Ghana working. Why is Oforiatta alone running away? ne bonita no do. Why is he alone? You know the KK Kabobo song.
Thank you.
But the boy ne bonitina organi. Yeah, we can sing that. Because look, we have to advocate at all costs to get him to come. If he values his family honor, Oforiatta should be on the next flight to Ghana. Let's stop all this ring my roll.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Martin Pegbu, who is a private legal practitioner, sharing your legal perspectives and also opinion as well with us. I'm coming back to you, Hajia Rabiatu. Well, she wanted, I will come to you.
She wanted to correct her name. You've just mentioned her name, so I'm sure Martin knows her name now.
It's not even, in fact, that is even the annoying part. I just don't expect him to refer to me as the NPP lady. People, you are watching this program.
About how they call her.
Serious issue.
Yes, we are discussing.
So my person is not serious. What are you saying, Gabi?
We should discuss your name.
It's not about discussing.
We have 1 hour. We have 1 hour.
So even this thing you are doing, you are still taking my time. She's taking my time. Nobody is asking for discussion of my name. What I'm saying is that people should know that my name is Rabi. And that is exactly what I'm saying. Secondly, look, I mentioned it. Let me say it, well, whichever way you take it. Like he said, I'm entitled to my opinion, and it's democracy. What I'm saying is that, look, I'm just glad that saying what I wanted to say initially wasn't out of context. And I'm glad he as well said I pulled out Article 19, which Gabi became playful about. Look, it's just so simple. He has to sound the way he's sounding because he's got a job to deliver. He's stuck delivering.
Which job is that? He's
supposed to talk here. He has to speak on legal issues. And he has to also share his opinion. Of course, that's fine. He's got to do that very well. I have got to come and also share my opinion. But what I am saying is that we are so clear that the man wasn't well. I said it earlier that he will come. If she's saying I don't have money, so of course, you probably would want to stretch it. But at the end of the day, the due process, the right thing is what is supposed to be done. And when we get to the end, guilty or not guilty, we all will know. It's as simple as that.
Gabi, you have the floor.
Thank you. Beatrice, some rebuttals about what she said earlier and the claim that the AG is going on a supposed trial by media. The AG, as government attorney general, has a responsibility to inform the people of Ghana about the status of the various corruption cases that are being investigated and where government has reached in each and every one of them. As we speak today, Professor Christopher Miyekufi and the former GIF chief executive are on trial for $2 billion SkyTrain scandal. 2, Wontumi, Wontumi, who now wants to go and contest for national chairman of the NPP, is on trial for all kinds of offenses, including taking cocoa roads contracts, which he did not deliver, taking money from Exim to go and create a farm, which he did not deliver. We have Mustafa Hamid, former NPA chief executive, and 9 others on trial. We have Mr. Oforiatta, this case, and 7 others at various levels. We have Gift Yowari, National Service ghost names. We have the former National Service boss, same ghost names. We have Signals Bureau with Mr. Edubuahin, also on trial. We have the Buffer Stock CEO, also on trial. Today, as we speak, Iyoko has been able to retrieve 600 million Ghana cedis from appointees of the NPP. What were they doing with that kind of money, and how did they come by that kind of money? They should thank God they put in that their plea bargain thing before they left power. That's what I've always said, that maintain that President Mahama must do something about that plea bargain agreement or whatever they call it. Now, you see, whichever way you look at it, the AG has that responsibility. The issue with Kemina Oforiatta, this particular trial, is not the AGO. It is the Office of Special Prosecutor. And let us not confuse the two offices. The Office of Special Prosecutor is an independent creation created by your government. The gentleman who is currently heading the OSP is your appointee. In fact, the last time I was watching the civil society discussion on the Office of the OSP, And so now I'm being forced to tamper justice with mercy. But if it was left to me, the OSP, Mr. Ejabin, he should be changed. The office of the special prosecutor must be maintained to fight corruption cases, but OSP himself must be changed. Because, in fact, what Frank Davis said yesterday was an indictment on the OSP. That's why OSP has not informed Keno Ofori-Atta that his face is on their website and he's a wanted man. Beatrice, you see, Mr. Keno Ofori-Atta is not sleeping in a good place. Let us face reality. The man is sick. 2, he's wanted back home in Ghana for many issues. 3, America wants to deport him. He's begging America, have leniency on me and please take me. Because if I go back to Ghana, they will finish me. The man can't even sleep. That's why he is sick.
Who can finish?
The man, please. The man is now caught between his investments that he has accrued in the US. And that's what somebody dedicated me the last time I was here on Nation. I was talking about how he should come back quickly. And was telling me that it's not that easy for him to just pick his bag and leave, because the man has so much investment in the US that if he picks up his bag and just leaves, it's like he's turned his back on, quote unquote, his properties. So, as an individual, no, Masa, if there's anything like karma, I want to believe this is what karma looks like, but I'm not here to come and preach about universal laws. The fact of the matter remains, government is committed to bring Mr. Ofori-Atta to Ghana. The extradition arrangement is still in order. The extradition request is still pending. Should, in case the request get before this judge, before the 27th of April, it will be considered at his trial. Nothing has changed about that. Government is still on track to ensure that Mr. Ofori-Atta is brought to Ghana to come and account for his stewardship. And that is in line with the mandate, as she wants to come and read to me what is unfair trial and all those things. What is enshrined in the Constitution. So long as you accept public office, you must account to the people of Ghana. Case finished.
Case finished, but there was an earlier case. There was an earlier comment. Please, ladies, there was an earlier comment from both Madam Ayana and Haja Gloria Menu about, yes, you're telling us that you're committed to bringing the man back to Ghana, but when he comes, we don't want talks, we want action.
I've just listed to you the cases that we are currently fighting in court.
On Mr. Ofori-Atta specifically.
He has to be here to face the trial. And that is why we are bringing him. Nobody has said he's going to be left off the hook.
Oh, that's not what she said.
That is, no, her point she made earlier was about how we are performing under oral. And that's the reason why I listed you the cases that are currently ongoing. Please keep quiet. The cases that are currently ongoing by government. It was actually in response to the comment that she made. So I think that question has already been answered. We are still on track. Please, your party got you. The only thing you are concerned about is your name. The government,
very important.
Continue.
Haja, I'll come back to
you.
Very important to me.
The government remains committed to the fight against corruption, and is also committed to making sure that we account to the people. We are in a reset era, and that includes us doing the right thing.
Haja Amenu, earlier you were saying you were excited that both MPP and NDC were here. You've heard both of them speak, and of course the legal perspective as well coming from Martin Pigbu. What's your understanding moving forward into this matter?
I want to emphasize on Anna and accountability again, because I can see Haja smiling and then attacking Gabriela, which I don't think is in line. Anyway, I'm subjective to my thoughts as well. So when I look at this picture this way, where MPP and Bawumia being the flag bearer now was in power when Ken was appointed as the finance minister, why haven't he come out to say, I am now the flag bearer and I'm against corruption? Ofori-Atta, come home. I was part of governments that put you there. In quotes, as Anna. So that this whole corruption issue, we have so many, just like sweetheart, our lady said, a lot of people who are being trialed. They are there. Day in, day out, we see it. Are we trying to say that MPP is comfortable with these corruption issues? Why don't they come out to say, Ken, you are disgracing us enough. Come home. Leave this thing that is going on. Save us the trouble. Come and let's solve this amicably.
Hajia Rabiatu is representing the MPP here, and she just said that she's one of those people looking forward to
let's hear them talk about it more. Let's hear MPP talk about corruption more. Then when we are coming back, we are coming back as a political party who are fighting corruption. I think it's one of the main reasons why NDC is in power now. Because we know that we were in pain, we were in hardship. Things were not going on rightly, and we didn't want it that way. So if they are now crying that Bawumia is coming back and he is part of Ken Ofori-Attah's corruption team, then they should come out and say, I'm not part of it. Ken Ofori-Attah, please come home so that you'll be accountable. I will not be tagged as part of being a corrupt team. Ghanaians are looking forward to that. We want positive change when it comes to accountability and corruption. We want to see a government that doesn't have anything to do with corruption. So with Anna that our lawyer was talking about, I'm also putting it to them that they should start preaching and telling Ken to stop disgracing them, to stop pulling them backwards, and they are going to be in opposition once United Party is upcoming, and we are now flying everywhere with our yellow colors. We want to hear them say that we don't want corruption attached to our names. Ken, come and clear yourself so that we all move on.
Madam Ayana.
You know, when I hear that Ken is sick, I think it's all theatrics. For about 90 days, he was able to be in front of a judge, you know, for his immigration case. So I don't see why he cannot also come and face our courts at this time. If we're looking at the way things are going, honor is being played, and rightly so, because for us as Africans, we hold that very dear. Nobody wants to have any type of stigmatization or stigma pointed at its family. That's why we say you don't use your left to point at your family house. I am just saying that at the end of it, if Ken Ofori-Attah is really sick, which I don't believe that is the reason why he is not coming, is he trying to say that for the 35 million Ghanaians here, we don't have a medical team that can deal with his situation? Granted that he was able to go and seek for medical treatment. Of course, he had the money to go to Mayo Clinic. Not every Ghanaian has that kind of funding to be able to go to one of the most expensive hospitals in the world. So I can understand him that probably the ambience and everything there is something that he might not get in this country. But as a Ghanaian, I can assure him that our medical staff in this country are as capable as you can get them anywhere else. Maybe we can ask government to ask if there's any particular equipment that he would need for his treatment. It might save us more than probably having to wait for the going back and forth, which people feels might even cost us millions. So can we get whatever equipment it is that Mr. Ofori-Attah thinks he deserves? This whole issue is that he is not the first finance minister this country has had. We've had Tekwe, Dufo, late Banredu, Kwesi Botwe, and all the others. Aside Botwe and Banredu, the rest are still walking around in Ghana. And I am very sure that they've also had their share of accusations, and they've been able to weather the storm and still be amongst us. I think that it would be rather a good thing for Mr. Ken Ofori-Attah to come back and at least be treated like a person, an important person. Because I don't think that we would treat him like they are treating him in the ice with that small bed. with all those funny things that we see. I mean, he looks drab. Okay?
Well, he's no more in the detention.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that we wouldn't have done that. We would not have gone and put him in a cell. I mean, people are sleeping in their homes whilst they are going to court. You are found innocent until proven guilty. And therefore, people are going to court and sleeping in their homes. So I don't see why he can't even just decide and say, look, let me just go and face this court. And if anything at all, if I'm cleared, fine. If I have to go for jail, that's it. After all, so many people. Victor Salomon went to jail. You understand? Ibrahim Adam went to jail. So many other people, politicians, public holders went to jail. Chikata went to jail. So these are things that are part of the system. Once you are a public officer, accountability is part of you. And therefore, it's part of life, so to speak. Once you enter politics or you take public office, then you should know that your public office is also tied to your social values and all the expectations that people expect of you. So I am really, really appealing to him and his lawyers to actually ask him that, look, he should just make it back and face the music. Because after all, when you stay out, people get all types of ideas. Oh, he's guilty, he's guilty. Why? Come back. And as an Accra, I feel very bad that a fellow Accra is out there and people are speaking so much. We are not like that. We are not trained to have those kinds of sentiments put on us. So please, Accra, Oforiatta, wherever you are, just make yourself, avail yourself to this country's laws, and let's settle this issue.
Let me get your final thoughts on this, Hajia.
And I don't think that permanent residency means citizenship. Yeah, so they're two different things.
Let me get your final thought on this. Perhaps if you could also focus just a little bit on the proposal from Madam Ayana that indeed, if it is true that he's medically not fit, we should perhaps be making inquiries about what kind of tools he needs to keep him healthy whilst he comes back to face trial in Ghana.
It's that simple. You know, Beatrice, it's quite a tricky position for some of us, because when somebody tries to undermine somebody's health condition, it becomes quite insensitive. And for me, I would just let it slide, because we have seen this man very sick, even in the country. We have seen his condition, though I haven't gone through his medical documentations and all that. But it's also evidence that he was sick. Secondly, whether or not, and we all know that his lawyers haven't come out openly to tell anybody that the man says he will never return to Ghana. No. He hasn't said it anywhere that he's not willing to come for the trial. Also, when you look at Article 9.3, and you can check that, it talks about other forms of trials. It could be in presence, it could be in absentia and all that. What I am saying is that let's just have some patience. I know Ghanaians are looking for the best. Ghanaians are keenly monitoring, and Ghanaians want the right thing to be done. When I'm speaking with the NDCS and they go so hard on Ken and I go to head them on Sedinam Tamaklo, it becomes a fair play. But when the neutrals, the CSOs, the others, who are supposed to be the cleaners of the system, the expectation I and other people have is that NDCS, NPPS, two major political parties. You have NPP being blamed for ABC, NDC, ABC. But when their conversations become highly tilted, one-sided, then it becomes a problem. Just this morning, UP rep, my sister Hajia, mentioned that she expects that the NDC would come with straight points of their next steps upon arrival of Ken Oforiatta.
Which is what a number of Ghanaians expect.
A lot of people do expect this. And I don't know why she's again hesitant to repeat it when she was asked to say that. You did mention that we were referring to Gabi that, look, Hajia said they expect the NDC to give us a roadmap. Upon his arrival, we're going to do A, B, C, D. But of course, I'm not too surprised, because these people, they'll always say A and come and do B. Contradiction is their second name. And that is what we are seeing today.
You mean
so
the NDC?
You don't know. I just mentioned it last week. Yesterday I was even mentioning it somewhere. Today I won't hesitate to mention. But I'm just telling you that she mentioned that she expects a very brilliant step or approach to this, which I am siding with the Ghanaians
and
who
if
are
you
also
could
looking
wrapping
at
up
that.
for
And
me.
finally, I am telling you by reassurance that, yes, talking about honor, family names, integrity, dignity, and everything, I know somebody like Ken wouldn't want to just throw his integrity to the door. I'm so sure about that. And I'm pleading to all Ghanaians that they should have patience. The man is still under treatment. If he has to go and do immigration processes or custom processes, it's only important for him to do. So let's just be patient. I'm encouraging his lawyers, his advisors, and all the people who as well can really handle this situation to all help to get things done very well.
Have your final word.
Beatrice, it's very interesting listening to the MPP. Maybe Rabi is young, so she may not know. May have gray hair under the black. NPP under Kufuor, former President Kufuor, dragged Victor Salome, a very sick man.
And this is what you are talking
to
about
court.
and referring to Amian.
Victor
This is what you want to say.
Please, can she have her time? Hajia Salifu, can she have her time? Because her time is actually running out. We need to look at the Iran-US. Please, make your point, and I'll come to the rest of the panel.
The NPP. And the same former president.
Hajia, I think you should allow her. You should allow her to have her time.
Part of their history.
Please,
so she's embarrassed that I just hit her with that.
But you don't refer.
Look,
Yes, when you're referring to my history, you
Hajia, can she have her time? Hajia, can she have her time?
Yes. The NPP denied lawyer Chajuchi Kata his asthma medication. The man, keep quiet. The man almost died in custody. It took the wife a spirited campaign to start Free Chachu movement to get her husband out of Insawam prison because they wanted to kill him.
So you want to do that to Ken?
We are not interested in killing anybody.
Okay, so let's go on.
But the law is the law. And the law must be paramount. If you are serious about the law, you LPP as a political party will be the ones championing Kenoforiata to come back to Ghana because in fact, if you don't know, this whole Kenoforiata saga,
just so I can get the
this
other
whole Kenoforiata saga is an indictment on your LPP administration.
And that is why
that you put somebody in charge of the exchequer.
Please allow Gabi to make a point. I need to move on.
That is an indictment on you as a political party. You should be serious about it.
I said,
if you think that it's here and injecting,
I landed on the point that
Hajia, respectfully, let Gabi make her point. I'll take the rest of the panel. And then, if there's anything, when I come back to you, you can make that point. Hajia, please. Gabi, please make your point, and then I'll come to Hajia Gloria Menu and Madam Ayana.
Behave your age. And I'll treat you the way you want to be treated according to your age.
You started with
now
age.
Let's make progress.
You started with age.
You are more concerned about your name.
Please, shall we make progress, ladies? Yes. Shall we make progress? Please.
Beatrice, the NDC is not interested in any trial or victimization of Kenoforiata. But we demand, as requested by the good people of Ghana, when they voted for His Excellency John Mahama, that people who had been corrupt and alleged corruption cases in the last administration should be brought to book. And that's exactly what the NDC is doing. There are a lot of good hospitals these days compared to the time when Kufuor was mistreating everybody else in this country and all we was Kulebo in 37. We have Bank Hospital. Now we have UGMC. We have Swiss Medical something. There are so many sophisticated hospitals today that treat cancer and all kinds of ailments. And I'm very sure that when he comes back to Ghana, he will be given proper medical care. But the NPP must insist for their own sake as a political party. Because the way things are going, and I'm very happy that you've behaved the way you behave, so the people of Ghana can see the clear difference between NDC and NPP. You were brought here with speaking notes to come and talk about how to defend your party's position.
Hajia, once again, please.
You are more interested in your name and now your age.
Oh, very much so.
Beatrice, the point has been made. Government is so committed. We are still on the roadmap. I've listened to Auntie Rhoda and my dear sister here talk about they wanting to know what's next. legal matters is also dependent on strategy. So don't expect that government is coming to open up all the strategy to the public. However, I do believe that the AG in the coming days will come and speak to the matters of Ken, and then we'll know how we are progressing. But let me assure the people of Ghana, the government remains committed to ensuring that there's accountability in the rule of law in this country.
Let me just read a few messages and then I'll take your final words, Madam Ayana and Haji Amenu. From Kalioman in Wasa, Sister B, it would be easy for one to use your bare hands to push a bulldozer to move than Ken Ofori-Atta coming to Ghana on his volition. On his own volition. There's also a message coming in. It says, I'm not sure of the name, but it says the MPP doesn't mean to grasp the extent of the corruption label that's now stuck to the party. If they truly want to redeem themselves and clear their name, they should simply tell Ken to come. After all, his own children are calling him back, just like he once demanded that others resign when the situation called for it. Let me perhaps read two more. This is coming from Prince Henry Koforidi. It says, Ken Ofori-Atta actions have proven to us that he has really swindled our beloved country in terms of causing financial loss to the state. And the last one I'll read here. Oh, this is a very long one, but okay. And another one. So that's what you sent us earlier when we were talking about the road crashes. But let me get your final word, Haji Aminu.
Let me use this Akan proverb which says, "It's your nyonko, it's your dream." I quite remember last week we were here talking about the prices of fuel and asking Ghanaians to be patient. And my sweetheart was like, no, let's talk. Prices and people are suffering. Let's talk on it. And today you are saying we should be patient on our taxpayers' money. Hey! It's shocking me, cry. You see, this is a time where we were in this country where we were all thinking that the financial status of the country was going so many pathways. Like it was, things were bad. Let me say that way. Fuel prices were up, food prices were up. We weren't getting employment for our young folks. Everything was very bad. And now we know that this same man who was always in white, having our files in his bag, now is somewhere else, and we want him to come back and account for. You are saying that we should be patient. For this one, I can't be patient. No, he's fine. I'm now seeing 6 packs when he was in fact, he's looking nice.
You saw his 6 packs.
You see on his now there is muscles.
So you're doubting the claim that
she's saying if it was in Sawam, my dear, stay 1 month in Sawam prison and see that you look as fresh
but
as
you're aware that
looking.
the systems, the prison situation
So if it
outside of the country are better than in Ghana.
If it was in Ghana, Ken will be crying that we should release him.
Oh my
now
God.
He's eating well. He's able to pay lawyers.
And your producer just had to put in that video.
see. As if he's lifting. See, as if he's lifting. Look at this
So
man.
the point you're making is we need to wrap up.
If he has so much money, oh my God. If he has so much money to pay lawyers to defend him, if it was in Sawam, I bet you Ken will be begging us to release him. So he looks fine. This man is healthy enough to come and stand and face trial. So please don't tell me to be patient. Ghanaian youth, we can't be patient on this issue. We need Ken back home.
We need Ken back home, she says. Madam Ayana, your final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thought is that the massive support
that's all.
Because of the promise to make sure that anyone who embezzled funds in this country or any corrupt person will be brought to book. And it just so happens that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta has been caught in
Ladies,
that
please,
net.
your voices can be heard on air. If Madam Ayana could kindly make her point.
Yeah, so I was just saying that, the NDC's massive support that they had was because of the promise to go after all wrongdoers or corrupt elements within our society. It just so happens that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta has been caught in that net. So we are expecting that it is not going to be business as usual, and that due process, of course, will be followed, so that whoever is found guilty will be dealt with. Because if we do not punish wrongdoers in this particular democracy of ours, then we should just throw the democracy out. I still stand by the fact that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta was fit by all standards, because what I read was that ICE had doctor's look over him to see whether he was fit to stand for that trial.
And they said he was
medically fit. So if they found him medically fit, I don't see why he's not medically fit to come to Ghana, unless there is something else. And, you know, when it comes to saying that someone like Rabiatu said, it's not being insensitive. I'll be the last person to be insensitive to someone's sickness. Because, you see, you cannot even tell by people's looks whether they are sick or not. There are people who are very healthy walking around, but they look sickling. And that is also something. And there are some of us who are sitting fit as we are, but we are sick. You understand? So I understand what it means when somebody says you're sick. So at the end of the day, all I can say is that we are expecting that the government will put in whatever measures it has to put in to make sure that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is brought to this country to face our courts and to exonerate himself. There is no question of witch hunting anywhere. It's a question of perceived corruption, and until that is dealt with, he will continue if he does not come back voluntarily, or if he expects us to bring him by force. That thing is going to continue to follow him, that he is someone who was a corrupt element and ran away from the law. And that, for me, is a bad precedent.
Thank you so much, Madam Ayana. Thank you, Madam Rodelyn Imora-Ayana, public interest advocate. I'm sorry we're unable to bring you that ceasefire agreement between Israel and Iran, the 2-week ceasefire to allow for fuel or crude to move from the Strait of Hormuz to the rest of the world. But of course, the argument is that this should be able to bring some relief as regards the prices of fuel globally, including Ghana. So thank you very much once again, Madam Rodelyn Imora-Ayana, public interest advocate, for joining us for the conversation. Earlier, we had with us private legal practitioner Martin Kpegbu, who also brought his legal perspectives on this. To you, Hajia Rabiatu Salifu, Deputy Director of Communications for the NPP. Thank you for joining us, as well as to you, Madam Gabriela Tete, NDC Central Regional Communications Director. And of course, last but not the least, Hajia Gloria Menu, National Women's Organizer of the United Party. I want to say a big thank you to Celebrity Style Boutique.
For being able to
please,
old lady like her.
Please, can we move on? Our time is up. I want to say a big thank you. Your mic is actually muted, so we can't hear you. I want to say a big thank you to Celebrity Style Boutique within the Marina Mall on the Swinters Road for my costume this morning. Let me remind you that the big issue is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. Remember that whether you're aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication, operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics, or you just want to advance through a dual MBA or chartered manager MBA, University of Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc in International Relations, Communication, International Marketing, International Law, Security Diplomacy, Accounting, Finance, or Human Resource Management, an LLM in International Law, Security Diplomacy, or an MA in Biblical Studies, Practical Theology, the pathway is open. April admission is now open. Apply today, because at the University of Gold Coast, we make a practical, flexible learning, flexible entry, and flexible payment. Study around your work and life. Choose a route that fits your background and pay in convenient installment. Your dream deserves structure. Your future deserves strategy. Your purpose, of course, deserves training. Apply now, www.ugc.edu.gh. You can call or WhatsApp on 026 388 8555. University of Gold Coast, building leaders for the nations. And thank you very much for joining us on The Big Issue today on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest
And I tell you that we have to do sports now. Bill Lishen is here. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Roland.
You look great.
Thank you.
And straight away, we have to zoom to Europe, right?
Yeah. In the Champions League, Barcelona played against Atletico Madrid at the Camp Nou. They were favourites to actually win the game, but unfortunately for them, they went down to 10 men and later lost by 2-0.
How does it put and place Barcelona?
So at the moment, Barcelona have a very big mountain to climb. They do have the second leg next week with Atletico Madrid, but they would have to bounce back from the 2-goal deficit, especially away from home. So that makes it an even tougher task for them.
On the other side, we had PSG in action.
Yes, PSG defeated Liverpool also by 2-0. There was no...
Ghana Black Starlets are in action once again, or will be in action.
Yes.
And this time for the Continental Championship.
Yes.
We have the groups again announced.
Yes, the group stages have been announced. They were announced yesterday. They have been placed in a very tough group, together with Senegal, Algeria, and then South Africa in Group D. That's a very difficult group for Ghana because these three teams are powerhouses when it comes to youth football these past few years. And it's understandable because Ghana entered into the competition in Pot 4, having not qualified for the Under-17 AFCON since 2017. So they do have a lot of work to do to try and qualify out of a very, very tough group. But it's a kind of challenge that you want to see for our youngsters if they want to improve and then make a case for a future place in the Black Stars. This is where it starts. And for Prosper Ogum, he would definitely be relishing a challenge like this.
And we have other countries participating in Africa as well. And again, the tournament is taking place.
Yes, in May. In the middle of May to the beginning of June. And here are the groups. Group A, we have Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, and then Ethiopia occupying Group A. Group B, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Uganda, and then DRC in there. Group C is Mali, Angola, Tanzania, Mozambique. And then in Group D, of course, contains Senegal, South Africa, Ghana, and then Algeria. Very, very tough group.
All have strong youth groups or national teams.
Strong
Algeria, Senegal, tall. South Africa very fast. When their youngsters are always very fast. And then, of course, Algeria, they have all the best sporting facilities. I mean, the Northern African countries, and they tend to do the grooming very well. As it is.
That's true.
Charlie, it's going to be a tough one.
Very.
Not the DDIU group again this time. So, but do you think that we've selected some of the best talent to represent us?
I think they've already selected as many as they could, and they've started playing friendlies actually. But we would see how Prosper Ogum sees this team just before the tournament, because there's still some time before May 13th, where the tournament starts, to June 2nd, where the tournament is supposed to end. So I think for the next few weeks, we'll be seeing a number of friendly games where Ogum will use to assess how good the team is and the kind of combinations he would want to use for the tournament. And so we'll be definitely keeping an eye on the group, the sort of friendlies he plays, and how these young boys perform.
But we have a great history. Of course, not a recent history, but a great history
in the past,
in the African Championship and the World Championship as well.
Yeah, we've won the African Championship on 2 occasions. That was in the 1990s. The last time we were in the competition in 2017, we were actually second place. But since then, I mean, we've seen the under-17 fall off drastically. And this is now an opportunity for them to bounce back. And hopefully, they actually bounce back in the tough group.
All right, but let's transition because we have to end the segment. And what a way to wrap up boxing.
Yes, the fight night, Legacy Ride Fight Night, which will be happening this Friday. A number of things have been done in the build-up to it. Yesterday, there was a face-off where the boxers who will be participating in this particular fight night all gathered around the lighthouse in Jamestown to face off and take a few videos and to also share their thoughts ahead of the particular bout coming up on Friday. And my colleague, Andrew Sifa Banfo, has more on this report.
On Friday, the latest installment of Legacy Rises bout will take place at the Boko Arena in Accra. Ahead of the much-anticipated heavyweight clashes, boxers thronged the Jamestown Lighthouse for their respective face-off earlier on Wednesday. As part of a continuous and conscious effort to raise the standards of boxing in Ghana to the next level, CEO of Legacy Rise, Sharaf Mahama, reiterated the vision of the sports organization.
Mainly is to impact, the young athletes in, Ghana, Jamestown, rather than them venturing into, bad habits on the streets. Boxing is a way to, instill discipline and, be progressive, especially when it comes to, your habits and stuff.
So do you believe we have what it takes to produce another world champion?
Most definitely. I think we just need to, sanitize our, industry a little bit, and then, once the system is working, the talent is always here. There's a lot of talent in Ghana, so yeah.
The headline bout is expected to take place between Ghana's Theophilus Alote and Namibia's Jonas Erastus over 10 rounds for the vacant WBA Africa Gold Super Flyweight title. The 23-year-old Ghanaian has vowed to defeat his Namibian counterpart.
I'm here to do the face-off, so I want to see my opponent before I will say anything else. So they should come and support me on Friday, which is 10th April. I'm going to stop my opponent, definitely. Because no one can beat me here, no one can beat me. Because before you can beat me, you have to train more than me. And also, I'm not sitting down for you to train more than me before you can beat me. So you should expect something special for me. No pressure. I've passed all the pressure in the gym. So when I go to the ring, no much pressure on me.
Together with Alote, Sademama, who is in line to feature in the Women's WBA Africa Super Welter division, remains confident of defeating her opponent, Ivanusa Morera.
Whatever won, by God's grace, we're getting a victory regardless. I'm here to defend my title that I worked very hard for. So, yeah, I'm not going to do any predictions, but just know it's going to be a victory. I mean, there's always pressure regardless, but, Philippians 4:13 is what I live by, so it's all good.
All roads lead to the Boko Arena as Friday determines who rises to the top.
Well, we're ending sports now. And if we want to get the latest sports highlights, what do we do?
Of course, check out 3 Sports GH on all social media platforms. And also on the website, www.3news.com/sports. In a few minutes, around 10 a.m., there is Sports Daily coming your way as well with more updates from the world of sports.
And the award-winning, handsome, intelligent Billy Shen right here from 3 Sports with the latest. Thank you so much. I will hope that we'll get more updates. But again, you have to check our socials and get the latest, just like he said, when it comes to sports, up to the minute in real time. But we also have to tell you in real time, Vitality Health Insurance is inviting all corporate institutions, associations, and groups to be part of their medical plans. And what they're saying is for you to cut down medical expenses and enjoy good and quality health care at a facility near you. And for Vitality Insurance, they're asking you, make sure that you touch base with them across social media, but also on their site, www.vitalitymh.com. Or you can also call them on this line, 026 657 3200. Well, as a conversation, when it comes to insurance, you also take care of accidents, etc., and especially for those injuries for third parties or the absence at all when there are those fatalities for accidents. What do you do? We began a conversation this morning about an action, a policy direction taken by the National Road Safety Authority, and it's about those Toyota Voxy vehicles becoming the talk of town, raising concerns about their worthiness to be able to, in between cities, carry passengers on the commercial side, and as a result, the fatalities that are recorded when accidents occur in those vehicles. We want to broaden the conversation. We'll have some great people in the studio who'll be joining us after this break to talk about what the standards are, how can we help the National Road Safety Authority, the police MTTD to undertake enforcement, but also generally also look at the concerns on the other side of the transport owners as to why they need to have those vehicles on the road to make them worthy for all of us as passengers to be able to use them as commuters. We'll do that after this. Toyota Voxies, and the decision has been taken by the National Road Safety Authority. You know, the thing too is that there's been a pushback by one or two other transport agencies or unions or pressure groups, you know, representing the commercial drivers using these cars and their effect on their livelihoods or their earnings. And so we want to broaden the conversation, want to look at the standard, what should be the ideal situation, the protocols existing, and then going forward as we improve on the conversation or the narrative, what needs to be done. And so I have here with me Chairman for the Toyota Voxy Technical Working Group. That is Godwin Ayeto, who is here. Good morning to you, Godwin. How are you? Right, you're part of the working group.
Yes.
That's the committee set up by the authority?
Yes.
Okay. And then from the Ghana Standards Authority, we deliberately brought them in because they have the knowledge to be able to also help us with these discussions so that we all educate ourselves. Macmillan Prentice is head, the vehicle homologation unit, and is here. Prentice, good morning to you.
Yeah,
and thank you for
morning.
joining us as well.
Good morning.
So I'll start with you because you people, you did that thing. And this morning when we opened the conversation, we opened the phone lines. So we got mixed reactions. The authority has made a policy decision that has changed the way the Voxies are deployed in the sector. And so you'll find that for those or on those who are on the other side are happy about what needs to be done in terms of the victims, and those who raise concerns about how light the vehicles are on them. But those who tend to use them for the purposes of earning a living, so to speak, the drivers are not happy. So the consideration is what went into the decision.
Okay. Thank you very much. By the way, Macmillan Prentice is also part of the committee from Ghana Standard Authority.
Great, even better.
So
even
governmental
better.
agencies.
So it's a multi-faceted.
Multi and experts, manufacturers, representatives.
So it means that the decisions were not taken in isolation.
No.
Very holistic.
No. Representatives from Toyota were also part of the committee as well. So we were tasked to verify the structural integrity of the right-hand to left-hand drive conversions, particularly of the Toyota Voxy vehicle. And we were also asked to assess its suitability for commercial transport. It was very specific. So it's not like we just went for Toyota Voxy. Toyota Voxy became the guinea pig. Then in the line of work, we did field studies. We went to converters. We were there when they were doing the conversions. We spoke to drivers. We spoke to station masters, passengers, thorough work. We wrote to the manufacturer's representative, Toyota, on the Voxy vehicle itself to request for test certificates, standards it has passed, what the vehicle was made for. And we even sought the opinion of the manufacturer on the suitability of the vehicle for commercial transport and what they think about the conversion process that is going on here. We also looked at our regulations to check whether right-hand drive vehicles imported are legal. And then we looked at conversions in other jurisdictions before we drew the conclusion. And one of the things that is striking was the response from the manufacturer itself, that once the vehicle is converted, it is not safe. And we tried to find out, because of the economic activities around the Toyota Voxy, and indeed right-hand drive to left-hand drive conversions, it's a huge market. We try to find out if they will be willing to give us some guidelines or provision for training so that this activity can blossom. They discouraged us, and their reason was it was just not safe, and that they have received several requests to do this, and the position is they are not going to do it. It was also clear from their response that all Toyota Voxy vehicles have been converted, because the manufacturer does not make any left-hand drive configuration of Toyota Voxy anywhere in the world. So that made us draw our conclusion that they have been converted. Secondly, we asked of the use case, and they said they designed the vehicle for young families. It was designed for a minivan designed for young families.
So small.
Yes.
Small group families.
Yes, and was designed for the Japanese market. So when
not even the Asian market.
No. So when a manufacturer, vehicles are designed for certain purposes, just like a medicine is designed to cure certain diseases. That's how vehicles are designed. So when a manufacturer said, I designed it for a certain market, it means they designed it for the road conditions, the behavior of people in that market. And the Japanese road is paved. And so clearly you will see why the ground clearance of those vehicles are very low. Yes, so
they are low bedded.
Yes, they are low bedded because the Japanese road and everything, yes, is able to adjust to that. So the vehicles don't have any inherent problems. They pass every test. Their safety rating is even the highest for the purpose it was.
And the market.
And the market it was designed for. It was so they gave us recommendations of their models that have been designed and certified for commercial transport that we should encourage Ghanaians to rather use. So the vehicle was not designed for high mileage and for high crashing. You know, when you go on long journey you are exposed to high speeds. And if there is an accident, it increases the severity of the accident. These are the considerations. And so if the manufacturer is declaring it for commercial, it has to pass certain tests as well. And as for the regulations, I'll leave Prentice to talk about the regulations. He knows more about that.
Macmillan, there were regulations. So as a working committee, what was existing and what did you discover was being breached?
Okay. So, as we can all see, there are thousands of the vehicle in the country. Many of them are registered for commercial use, and quite a large number also registered for private use. But in practice, we've seen that the vehicle is being used a lot for commercial purposes, long-distance commercial, whether it is, if it was originally registered as commercial or private. So even in the videos, show it on your screen, the one there, it's a white plate, okay? It's a white plate.
So private.
But it's private, but then you find them being used for commercial purposes. So this is what we found happening on the ground. Then we went into our laws and regulations to look at it and say, what is the situation in our laws? What does the law say? The first one we looked at was the Customs Act. In Section 58, it stated clearly that the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority shall not allow the import of any right-hand drive vehicle unless the person has authorization from the minister, which minister refers to the Minister of Finance. Now, I would like to provide you just a bit of clarity on this, because there have been a few who felt, maybe why even that provision from the minister? Now, the reason for having this provision from the minister was to take care of some extenuating circumstances. So you could imagine a situation where somebody lived abroad in another country for a few years. They buy a car, but the country in which they live, they use right-hand drive vehicles. And then you decide, I want to bring my right-hand drive vehicle to Ghana. I'm returning to Ghana. In that case, if you really want to do so, then you could then apply to the Minister of Finance and say, please, I know the law says don't bring in right-hand drive vehicles, but this vehicle has sentimental value. This vehicle I have been with and I want to bring it in. The minister may, upon their judgment, allow you to do so. But if you brought in that vehicle into the country, then you are required to use that vehicle as it is So it would still be a right-hand drive vehicle, and you'll be using it on our roads as it is.
Based on approval.
Based on approval, you didn't need to convert it. But what we realize is that the vehicles are coming in the thousands. They do not have ministerial approval to do so, and they are in the system. So we realized that there was a problem with what is happening at the customs side. The Ghana Standards Authority published a standard in 2022 for used vehicles. The requirements for a used vehicle entering Ghana included prohibitions on right-hand drive vehicles, vehicles above a certain age, and vehicles with damages that affected the safety cage and chassis of the vehicle.
Standards Authority?
Yes.
Ghana Standards Authority?
Yes. So this was in 2022. We attempted implementing just about the time, but not successful. And we are going to try again to do so. So failure to implement this standard was another challenge. Third, DVLA, knowing very well that such vehicles, right-hand drive vehicles, should not come into the country, are registering them, and even worse, registering them for commercial use. So we realized there was also a problem there. I mentioned earlier that some of the vehicles are also being used for commercial purposes, even though they were registered for private use. This is another problem. We realized that Ghana Police Service, MTTD, could have also addressed those issues on the road, which has not been done. The NRSA Act and allies also make provision for the NRSA to also regulate players within the auto industry, which would include mechanics, fitters, conversion shops, things like these. Training, education, certification, licensing in this sector is absent in our country. So even though we were looking at VOXI, we realized that there are wider issues that need to be addressed in our auto space in Ghana to be able to sanitize the system if our focus is on the safety of our people. So we looked at this and made recommendations on how each of these institutions could be able
We'll
to
come
do
to
so.
recommend, we need to speak to them widely. The Standards Authority.
Yeah.
Please, or at the ports. That's where that's the entry point.
That's the entry point, yes.
Among the institutions that are supposed to make sure that these imports meet thresholds for clearing and then transportation into the country. Are you one of them?
Yes, GSA is one of the gatekeepers, so to speak.
Have you always been?
We have been for a very long time. So that is true.
So it means
However,
that there's the holistic institutional oversight across, whether it's police, etc.
Yes. But at the point of entry, the practice has been that if you were bringing in a vehicle into this country, quality and safety was not an issue. What the issues were rather on the value of the vehicle, and then you just...
You mean on the checklist?
Yes, and that is what you look at. Taxes, levies, duties at the point of entry, and one can clear their vehicle into the country. So since 2022, we have been pushing governments to say, look, we need to be able to also look at the quality and safety of the vehicle. And this is what led to the development of a national standard that guides not only the authority in its conformity assessment, but also the buyer or the importer. So as you are buying, you should also know that, look, these are the requirements for the vehicle I am bringing. It should meet certain standards before it even gets here.
Right. There's a point in time, and unfortunately, since morning, I've been using the Accra-Tema Flower Road as an example. If you're a regular user of that road, before you get to Adan, you know, they have a number of meandering areas. I don't know whether... and that brings to mind, is it Godwin?
Yes.
The thing you talked about, the manufacturer of the vehicle, Toyota, for the market, the Japanese market or any other market they thought they would approve for it to make entry, did it as a low bed because roads, etc.
Yes.
And that brings to mind, well, does it mean that in your recommendations, you took a look at a number of factors that could correct the current defects we have? By way of the vehicles that are already in, those that could probably be sneaked in, and then what the standards should be, and what are those recommendations?
Yes, so one of the things we noticed was the conversions were not being done according to any particular standard. The people doing the conversions are not well trained, and they were applying different standards depending on who the converter is. In fact, in one situation, the converter admitted that he had seen conversions from other garages, and he himself was not happy about it. The extent of their conversion depends on the capacity of the one who brought the vehicle to do conversion, their capacity to pay. Because sometimes they do the conversions to a point, and the one who brought the vehicle say, okay, it's okay. Because mostly they bring it for conversion, then they have to sell it.
Okay, so it's a cost and a mechanical issue.
Yeah. So they just do some conversions to a point. If it's converted, it moves, it's okay. Then they also determine the quality of components they use for the conversions, so that they can make some marginal profit as a result. So there was absolutely no standards being used. And to make it worse, the DVLA, for instance, is supposed to inspect these vehicles before registration. Make sure they are safe. They are supposed to check these conversions and everything. And we found out that this was not being done, and they approved the registration without any recourse. So there is no standard, there is no inspection, there is no certification of those who do the conversions. And indeed, the conversions span multiple professionals: welders, mechanics, auto electricians, waste collectors, spare parts dealers, etc. In another case, we found out that they use components of other vehicles, such as older models of Toyota Corolla, Camry, to do the retrofitting. Now, back to your question again. In terms of modification, we realized that they try to raise the vehicles. They raise...
Like the way we all raise,
they raise the vehicles
without certification.
So tacitly, it is admitted that they cannot ply the roads. I think it's admitted. So they use bigger tires. They raise the suspension a bit for that to happen. The challenge is that the original tire for that vehicle is a passenger tire. For commercial vehicles, they have to come with commercial tires designed for high load, stress, high speed, and potholes conditions. So they replace the passenger tires with the commercial tires so that they will be able to. But the challenge is, for example, when you look at the engineering of all this, if you replace a small tire with a bigger tire, you are going to have errors in your speedometer and odometer readings. The speed will begin to read less than it's supposed to read. Yes. So because everything on the dashboard
because
now,
the chassis, everything is telling the vehicle that it's moving slower.
Yes.
Even though it's actually moving faster. Okay.
Exactly. So everything becomes erroneous. So the chassis has been significantly tempered, and no manufacturer will approve that. Okay. That is the situation. Right. So we have advocated that. Even if...
Was the DVLA part of your...
Yeah, DVLA was part.
Was part of the committee?
It's part of the committee.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So we have...
Because I know that because I used to work for an entity who were championing the National Towing Levy. I work closely with the Road Safety Authority over the years. And I know for the DVLA, they just do the registration. They look at the worthiness and some of those things. Yes. So they may not necessarily be able to check whether the vehicle was well changed, etc. They will only look at...
It should have been detected.
Yeah.
Because the signs are obvious. Yes. Because they have to check if the vehicle is roadworthy. And these are engineering checks that you have to make. So going forward, we have said, even if... Because we looked at other jurisdictions such as New Zealand, Australia, and UK, that does accept vehicle conversions.
Yeah.
They are very few.
Okay.
But they have strict standards.
Yeah.
So we have said, even if we are to do the conversions, then the laws will have to first be amended to allow that, but the standards should have to be in place, and then there should be a means of inspecting those standards, approving and then disapproving them. Yeah.
All right. At the end of the day, how do we make sure that the institutions and the oversight that we've witnessed so far, I mean, we've overlooked a lot of things, institutional lapses. So if it's MTTD on the road, supposed to check, DVLA has registered a vehicle for private. I mean, they don't go on the road to go and check whether the vehicle is used for private or not. That's what they have done. Standards Authority says, oh, the vehicle, yeah, move it. But they don't stay on the road at the end of the day. But the user gets to be at the disadvantage. But the user also, in using the vehicle, likes the ambience. You know, sits in those cars, they have perfect air condition. The speed too is sweet because, you know, the suspension. So you will not feel that there's something beneath that's wrong. So the user behavior is now influencing drivers who earn a living through this to say that the decisions and the recommendations were arbitrary. How do you make sure that you serve that publics at the same time enforcing the recommendations of your committee?
Thank you. So you've spoken about two different levels.
Please address them.
Yeah. The first one will be, how do we prevent the problem from happening again? In other words, there are still many of such vehicles coming in. We've mentioned...
Because apart from vehicles, the Uber, those ones, they're all converted.
Exactly. And it's good you've mentioned this, because this brings us to the specific recommendation we've made about the Voxy, that it is not recommended for long distance intercity commercial travel. So they could be used in this situation, like you mentioned, Uber intracity within the city, because the crash data that was examined by the committee showed that it is more of the accidents are happening on the intercity side of things, but then within the towns and cities, there may be crashes, but the fatalities are lower. So this was what caused that one. So what we need to do is to actually solve the problem by first tackling it at the source. Right-hand drive vehicles should not come into the country. Right-hand drive vehicles should not come into the country. First.
Okay.
Customs is at the point of entry. This is in their law, and they are to enforce this.
At all?
At all.
What if it's changed at the destination before brought?
Good point. So here comes...
Because if you're on TikTok, which...
yes. We see those things happen.
Even the cruisers in Japan, they buy them right-hand drive. Is it right-hand drive they call it?
Yes, right-hand drive.
They buy them.
And then they convert
So you see a
them.
cruiser, it's a big vehicle.
So these are good points. So the GSA is pushing for the implementation of pre-shipment verification of vehicles. The standard to be used should be used by a competent body in the country of origin, and this should happen before the vehicle is even shipped to Ghana. This is what we are pushing for. Now,
wouldn't that result in amendment of maybe regulations, standards?
No.
Okay.
Because
it's just enforcement.
It's just enforcement.
Okay.
But we also need a system which has been already designed to be able to help with this. Now, how does this help? It helps you, the buyer in the country of origin, to know whether the vehicle you intend to purchase and export to Ghana meets our standards here in Ghana before you bring the vehicle into the country. So that would help us to be able to address the problem right from the point of entry. Now that those vehicles are not coming into the country, your second question was, what about those that are already in the country? And that's what we are saying. For those already in, through the NRSA's directive, DVLA, and the Ghana Police Service MTTD, limit the use of existing ones in the country at present to intracity, within cities, and not between cities. There are also further recommendations in the report that looks at what can be done to be able to assess the integrity of the vehicles that have already been converted, and if there is a need for any corrections to be done, these can then also be done to the vehicles. These recommendations have also been made.
Chadra, please call the transport people, okay, if you can get them. Because since morning, one of the things, Godo, the things that I kept asking myself as a marketing communication person was, you know, sometimes when you want to undertake a policy implementation on at the formulation side, you do stakeholder engagement. So in Parliament, you say there's a memoranda, you submit those things. It's same for every policy, which of course are in your institutions. Prior to this ban, did you engage, you know, the stakeholder, transport owners already in use, etc.? And I'll start with you.
We engage transport owners.
The users of these vehicles, the importers
we
of
went
these
to
vehicles.
the stations.
Did you go to the institutions in themselves?
For example, the importers, the unions, we engage the unions.
Not the driver union.
We engage the drivers. So we engage. In fact, the field study, during the field study, we were accompanied by some of the importers of these vehicles. Throughout the field study, they were with us. Also with the spare parts dealers, they were part of the team for the inspection. So after inspecting converting center, we spoke to owners and we went to all the stations that were using these vehicles. We spoke to drivers, we spoke to station masters, we spoke to passengers as to why they like Voxy, because Voxy has replaced more established vehicles, so we had to ask them why you love Voxys ahead of other vehicles. So yes, there was broad consultations.
Okay. All right.
And I just wanted to mention that the national standard for used vehicle, as I had mentioned earlier, includes requirements for the vehicles, and one of the requirements is that it should not be a right-hand drive vehicle. This standard I mentioned was published in 2022.
Yeah.
The standards development process is full of stakeholder consultations.
Okay.
We have consulted all the 4 major used vehicle dealer associations in the development.
In this thing?
In the development of the standard, of which this requirement is a part.
Okay.
And they have all agreed to it that indeed, when implemented, right-hand drive vehicles will not be coming into the country.
Okay.
So we do appreciate also that indeed, such things would affect the livelihoods of some people. We do acknowledge that. But we are also confident in the resilience, in the ingenuity, and the strength of our fellow Ghanaians that, look, if we should think more of the safety of our fellow Ghanaians, we will all come together and look for new ways. I don't believe that this is going to destroy completely the business. It is only going to give them an opportunity to innovate into new areas.
All right. Asunaba Nana Radio is Commercial Operators of Ghana. They issued a statement in reaction to this, saying it's going to affect their business, etc. Asunaba, this is going to be the new norm, or going to be the norm now. So how do you intend navigating or working in tandem with a new policy directive, Asunaba?
Well, Roland, good morning.
Good morning.
We were shocked to hear this news from the National Road Safety Authorities. And then the most painful aspect of it that we were not even consulted in their own technical abilities of going to, work on the Voxy issue. The commercial transport operators weren't consulted, not even the GPRTU, which is the mother station of transport in this country. So we are even surprised. We are even surprised that they are coming out with such even concealed findings like this.
Okay. So the findings are out. we've seen how excessive this is on human lives or the fatalities. They say that it's not that they want to shut your business down, but this is the standard. How do you hope to work around this?
Then they should also come and tell us that sprinter buses are also going to be banned.
Why?
Because we all know sprinter buses are containers. When you go to this European country, they are being used to convey containers and stuff, books and stuff. But they are being brought here to, for transportation business, for carrying passengers. Do you understand? You know, we haven't gotten to that height. Do you understand? So you can't be, eating your cake and be having it. You know, Ghana is a developing country, and then these are some of the things that used to help the economy little by little. So you can't be coming out with a straightforward issue that total volumes have been banned. So what are you telling the investors? You are renting about almost 7,000 people unemployed. I've also think about that also. You see, so it's a whole lot of issues that needs to be looked into it again. Do you understand?
Okay. You have to look into it. They are not looking into it, though, but I don't know how you intend doing that. All right. So,
Roland, you see, one of the days when we had this, the Ford expedition, Ford on Takwadi roads.
And the Kumasi roads.
The Ford issues. There was a time too. There was this car called school feeding program. That Toyota with long mouth. They were all involved in accident. What were the? What were the? The points they use in stopping all those things. The National Road Safety Authority should come and tell us.
Okay, but don't you think that the vehicles, according to the manufacturer, were made for certain terrain and a certain market? So when you over temper, I don't know whether I can use that phraseology. When you temper too much with the structure of the vehicle, then it means that the lives or the human beings you're carrying them on or you're using to transport them, you're putting their lives at risk. I don't know whether I'm making sense.
We are in a country that Okada has been legalized. Pragya can be doing commercial activities.
But Pragya, they don't. Mr. Sonaba, please. We're all seeking education. No, Mr. Sonaba, Pragya doesn't transport one individual from Accra to Kumasi. Sonaba.
Roland.
Yes, sir.
I hope you read their findings. They said because this is not, they has been banned for commercial activities. Did they even think about the infrastructure? No. The commercialization has been banned. That is why I'm bringing on board the Pragya and then the Lucana.
Example.
You see, it is quite unfair on our behalf. It is an attempted plan to collapse our businesses, and we are going to. We are not going to agree with them at all. Not at all.
All right.
Not at all.
So you are going to resist this.
We are going to resist it with all our strength.
All your strength. Yeah. I see your picture. I see you are strong. So don't worry. We'll see how it goes. Sonaba, I think we need to continue this conversation, right? We need to.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that's Sonaba Nana Redu with the commercial operators of Ghana. They issued a statement to that. So the way it is now, those in the system, they can be used, but you can't bring in new ones. When would that take effect?
Okay. Good question. So, in fact, we are looking at between 4 to 6 months for this to take effect. Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Now, why is this? It's the same reasons he's complaining about.
Why not like a year?
Why not a year? A year will not be practicable because the reason for giving people 3 to 4 months is because people may have already invested and have already shipped products. Supplies, that is it. But beyond that, there is no reason to do this.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Very educative. So I allowed you to talk, no interruptions. And that's a good thing. Godwin, as well as Macmillan, thank you so much. Great education. And, well, for those who tend to use them, they say they're comfortable but then you look at the assessment that has been made on the technical side, they're just fatal to you, so to speak. So there's a lot of circumspection that needs to be exercised in there. But let's do some birthdays before we call it a morning. And I'll quickly put them on the screens for you, just in case you also want to be part of this. All right? So let's see what we can do. All right, so it's a birthday of our brother, Alfred Akrofio Kanse. Alfred Okanse, happy birthday to you from all of us right here at Media General. And then also Katkis Georgia Tiga, from your loved ones, happy birthday to you. Hajia Mansura, from your dad Ibrahim Abubakar of Media General, and your mom and the rest of the family. Oh, very beautiful, very beautiful, very beautiful. And Mami Tiwa of Mary Noel Beauty Academy, from your colleagues, happy birthday to you. Skylar Adilaye, from your dad and the rest of the family of Air Talk International Ghana. Perry Prosper Yabua of Tanzania, happy birthday to you from Damausi. And then Prince Amugi, from your wife Sandra and the rest of the family, happy birthday to you. Richmond Gajia, from Wisdom L, the team, the statistics department, they wish you all the best. Lady Gift Owusu, God bless you, from Pastor Daniel as well. And then Sophia, your 50 years today, from your family, your children, your friends, they love you. I love this photo shoot, Charlie. Papa Kweku Betiajin of Stanward School, from the entire Ajin family, happy birthday to you, Papa. Gloria Mankwa Pukia, new beginning and possibility from Justice. Madam Joyce, happy birthday to you from the entire family. You're even preaching here. Is it preaching or something? Hey, Ethan Obrimpong Nkrumah of Primas Education Complex, Wager, from Philo, happy birthday to you, young man. And Mame Yasewa Watri of Calvary Presby Children's Service, from the entire family. Mrs. Millicent Mensah, CEO Pretty Queen's Beauty Glams, Accra. Apostle Samuel Amponsa Frimpong, Esquire, happy birthday to you. And then your chairman of Catherine T.Y. ACN, from your mom, Grace, and the rest of the family. Aya Ramsey B, happy birthday to you, Ramsey. Gloria Nunana Afoto, God bless your new age. Lillian Jabber, happy birthday to you. And then also Benedicta, your loved, from your sisters Mavis and Helena. Justice Kwisia Jinim Boating, Justice of the High Court, from your entire family. And then also Dr. Isaac Kosu, your lecturer with UPSA, happy birthday to you, Doc. Yabua Perry Prosper of Pantec, from Pantosa, the old student, happy birthday to you. Linda, you celebrate your birthday from Gesture. And then from your dad, lovely daughter, happy birthday to you. Akusia Mercedes of Data Season 6, God bless your new age. Dora, happy birthday to you as well. Elder Samuel Freeman, happy birthday to you. Joanna Yaira, happy birthday to you. And then Edem Wowi Courage, stay blessed. Charlie, you celebrate your birthday from the entire family. Angela say, from Charlotte Ejewa, happy birthday to you.
Baby Elsa, at 1, may you grow in God's grace and mercy from mom and dad. Mrs. Doris Kekeli Dunyo, God bless your new age, from Mr. Didi. Herman, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. From your entire family. Marcel, enjoy your day, from Sewa of Media General.
And that'll be it for now. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Please make sure that you stay with us throughout the rest of the day, both on stream as well,
yes,
as well as